It's Mr. Chris here from Diary of a Linking Geek. Very excited to be here with you guys for a very special live stream, live from Linking's very own Geek Retreat. We're here doing a very special kind of playthrough, stroke live interview of the new game that's going to be coming to Kickstarter very soon, which is a prototype at the moment, so we have it, called Earth Rising. We're joined here with the designer Laurie Blake. It's very cool to have you on the stream, Laurie. I'm going to switch you around so people can see you. Say hi.
Hi there. How's it going?
All good. So during the show, I will try and keep on top of comments that come through. I'm interested in presenting and adminning at the same time. We are live streaming across all three platforms. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch right now. We've even got people coming on and saying hello already. Hello there, Chris Prescott. It's nice to have you watching. I hope you're all well. And with Ree's watching as well. I think they're all on your side, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, it seems.
It's good. It's nice what we like to hear. Nice to hear you guys watching. So I'm also here with two fans of the show. We've got Mike and me. There, guys. So these guys have expressed interest in the game. I think you saw the Kickstarter previously, and that's why you guys wanted to come along and join and play at the store. So, of course, I'm going to take a moment just to say Linking Geek Retreat is open, and they are for business, and they are doing all sorts of wonderful geeky things in the store. They sell magic, they'll sell board games, and you have gaming spaces which you can use as well. So currently, we are live streaming from their vault. I do apologise for the echo. So if you're struggling to hear us, or you've got any questions during the show, or any questions for the designer, please pop up, and ask the question. Hi there, Martin, another fan of the show is watching. It's always great to have you, on live and watching. It's great to have you. And literally just going to swap out back to our more minimalistic, with no Lincoln Imp. Ink, the Imp is called. He's not hiding me anymore. So, Laurie, it's great to have you. I know we kind of organised this lastminute.com, but we're all Mr. Organised here. Just do me a favour and just kind of give me an idea behind the inspiration of this game. How did this come about?
Well, it came about at the end of 2019, and I'll be honest, it came during a pretty bleak time in terms of my opinion of the whole climate situation. I sort of was looking at the world and thinking like, oh, nothing can really change. We're not in any position to do anything about it. There's nothing that can be actually used to make things better. And then on a complete chance watching, I was sort of dragged along to go and see the documentary 2040. And it effectively, the basis of 2040 is, can we change our world to take on the climate crisis using things that we actually have, no science fiction or anything like that, and do it in a way that, can counteract what we've already done, but within 20 years. And spoiler alert, the answer is yes. It's pretty inspiring film. It completely got me. I was genuinely moved to tears, and when I sort of came out of it, I suddenly felt like I had this vision of how it could be done, of how we could change things, and it felt possible for the first time ever. Furthermore, the way they presented it made it feel like I had a vision of how it could be gamified, and within the next 4 hours, I furiously scribbled down the idea for Earth Rising, and here we are. So yeah,
that's amazing. I've not seen the film, but I'm definitely intrigued to check that out now. So I will be doing that. Obviously, the guys here that are here with me, of course, you guys saw the initial Kickstarter that was released. Well, I know, actually, if I understand correctly, the reason why you initially stopped the first Kickstarter was because of COVID. Was that right? And you wanted to put a few more kinks.
So it was actually that our manufacturer gave us the option to be able to go with a lower print run, which would reduce our initial upfront cost by about £10,000. Since you can't change your goal within an active Kickstarter, you have to restart it. We looked at everything we had done. We'd looked at all the feedback that we'd gotten during the campaign, and we decided that with the ability to drop our goal on top of that, it was worth doing that restart. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we got was that we needed to make sure that more people had heard of us. We'd done our best beforehand, but we're a new company. We're still learning how to do these things. And the community really rallied around us and have done an incredible job just basically helping our game get seen. So, yeah, this time, between a lower goal, more understanding of how we need to present ourselves, and an incredible reception from our community, I'm very, very optimistic about our upcoming campaign.
No, that's really useful. And because I'm sure there's lots of designers out there that, sometimes when they're releasing Kickstarters, that, you just, feeling a little bit overwhelmed maybe, or you've got manufacturing problems, and it's hard to make that decision, particularly when you've got something live and you're seeing people wanting to back the game. I mean,
definitely.
I know, because I was initially one of the initial backers before we even spoke to you guys about doing the review. Oh yeah, exactly. I don't know whether did you catch that, Janine?
I couldn't, I'm afraid. No.
No. She said that it takes a lot of guts to pull a count, to pull something to then fix it. So we have total hats off to you guys for doing so.
Well, thank you so much. It really means a lot.
You guys obviously released a little bit of a preview of the Kickstarter on one of the board game groups that I'm on. I don't know why I'm on a board game group.
Who knows?
We're not at all designing our own game, but we're not talking about that right now. And I will say the preview of it looks good, and I like the adjustments and the amendments you've done to what looks like the game. Because I know obviously what we've got here is a prototype, so we'll remind everyone on the internet that there may be subtle differences between what they see here now compared to what they see when the game actually comes out, or whatever's actually released on the actual Kickstarter. Am I correct?
That's right. Yeah. In fact, one of the major changes that we've made is actually that the board is a little bit smaller. So as a result, so is the box. So it's now a standard 30 by 30 box, and the board is not quite so, I suppose you could say, gigantic. And it makes it a lot more accessible in terms of a game that is going to be played on normal tables.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. So we've just had something pop up. Martin Dane says, we've paperback games that are looking to manufacture in the UK, so there's little choice of manufacturers. It means we make very little money, but it's still our aim. Well, that's very commendable, and I think a lot of board game designers out there are actually doing this. They want to make sustainable games, and that's another thing that's really kind of got all of us. We were talking about this pre-stream, that you guys are trying to do a minimal impact in producing this game. How much effort has that taken to find?
I mean, like, it's been a year of research, of talking to people, of trying to. I mean, truth be told, the desire to make games that are sustainable, and the option and the ability to be able to produce in a way that isn't just your basic kind of your basic card and your plastic miniatures and all the rest of it, has actually been really difficult to even find or be catered to. Most of the normal kind of big manufacturers haven't been able to provide it until very recently, and it's only been due to manufacturers pushing them and telling them this is what we want these options, that they've started to hear that, and they've started to provide more eco-friendly and in general impactless ways in which you can manufacture games. It's really fantastic that the games industry is changing in that way, but it's because people are asking for it. So it's super important that people continue to do so, because that's the only way we're going to change things.
Yeah, no, and I think it's very worthy. I may be reaching out to you guys nearer the time for maybe a bit of advice and a bit of information about sustainable games. Not giving anything away about ours at all. I'm going to go back to yours here because I was talking about yours. I love the concept, and of course, our review came out live today. So if anyone hasn't seen that, you can go and count the review on the website. But I think we're kind of going to jump into a game a little bit. Can you just give us a? I'm taking a bit of effort off me here, but explain some of the base mechanics to everyone out there, just so we kind of got an idea, and I can point things out as you mention it.
Sure. Okay. So I guess on the left-hand side of the board, as far as the camera goes, you've got the social influence cards. Those are the kind of black and white with the earth in the middle. That's the ones. These are effectively your means of having influence over your society. Each player plays a specialist, and these specialists draw influence cards every single turn, and they use them to be able to affect the real practices that are actually in play upon the board. Around the board, you can see these little practices. They're the little tokens. That's right, those. And each of these corresponds to an influence card. The influence card has both the unsustainable practice that is on there as standard, and then on top of that, they've also got the the sustainable one, which is its sort of opposite and its direct solution that you would have to replace it. If you want to pick up one of the tokens, you can see that both those practices are on one side and on the other. So when you flip them over, that's it, and then flip it, you've got a sustainable practice on one side and unsustainable practice on the other. So you're looking to remove the unsustainable ones and replace them with sustainable practices in the real world that allows us to support a society without dealing strain onto our planet. Around the board, you've got ecological burdens. These are the big wedge shapes that are all around it, and on these are strain counters. The ecological burdens are basically the way in which we put strain on our planet. So, for example, water withdrawal coming out of industry and agriculture. And these, effectively, the more strain we put upon these, the more damage we're doing to our planet. If any two types of ecological burden ever reach 15, we have an ecological collapse where we have gone way beyond what our planet can handle. And as a result, we have, well, what we're seeing in real life now, which is disasters that are hitting our world. That's it. Those are the ones. So with this in mind, our society is not just about taking strain off of our planet. It's a very important part of it. But our society, even as it stands, supports people in their ability to live. Each social practice that is on the board allows for two people to be supported. So if you look at, say, I don't know, the culture sector is right nearby you. You've got one of the practices and you've got a meeple on that practice and one next to that practice. It supports those two. If you had a third practice in that sector, it would be able to support 6, but currently there isn't the space for it. We'll get there as we go. In the middle of the board, you've got rows of 6 meeple, rows of 3 meeple, my apologies. Each of these put additional strain on the planet. So we're looking to support more people so that there is not so much strain coming from poverty, whilst at the same time, we're looking to transition our society from unsustainable practices to sustainable. If you strip out the unsustainable practices too quickly, you'll make more poverty and you'll make things worse for people as well as the planet. If you don't strip them out at all and you instead of just trying to look to expand, then as a result, you won't be able to stop the incredible strain that we're putting on our planet. And you need to find that balance. And at its core, that's what Earth Rising is all about. It's a balancing game. So, last piece, of course, is the calendar cards right at the top there. That's it. You have 20 turns represented as years, and each of these years is a turn of a player. So, yeah, you've got 20 of them. Can you change the change the face of your society and get each one of those wedges flipped into the center? Or are you going to do your best and not quite make it?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
That's okay. Are you going to be able to flip each of those wedge sections, the ecological burdens, into the center, and therefore, change the face of our society for one that's more sustainable, like so? If you can, then fantastic, you win. You need every single one of those in the center in order to win. However, it's not difficult. No, it's not easy. It's what I meant to say. It's quite difficult. So good luck to you.
Yeah, me and my wife played this the other night, and we did the easy mode where you just have to flip over the middle sections rather than doing all of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you do?
We did it. We didn't have ecological collapse, but I think it was a fluke.
That's fair enough. Okay, cool. So it looks like you're going to be doing the full thing this time, though.
Yes. I think with three of us, we will be doing the full thing. I've already set up the social and influence deck with the status quo cards.
Yep.
So of course, these can pop up and give all sorts of crazy shenanigans as you're going through them. If you draw these, you have to resolve all this straight away, don't you?
That's it. So it's there's a variety of different effects that they can potentially have, and depending on which one you draw, it affects a different sector. So.
Well, it looks like we've got a few people excited about the Kickstarter launch. So if I remember correctly, you guys are launching on the 24th, is that right? That's
correct, yep, very exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. I think, we've got backers in the room here, so that's never a bad thing. If people are interested, of course, backing this, you can find all the information on the SDR Games website. The website is there on screen. It's absolutely visually beautiful, the website, just as much as the game, because, of course, you guys have brought across a lot of over the theme and style. So go check it out, and I urge you guys to check out the Kickstarter. Can I mention something about the Kickstarter that I thought was kind of really got me really interested? You can tell me off for mentioning it in a minute, but one of your backing tiers is to donate a game. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, people can actually back it and donate a game to a school in the UK and the US. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. We're unfortunately not able to offer it to Europe because obviously schools have different languages over there, and as a result, they need to be localized. But for the UK and US, as the game is in English, you can choose which one you want it donated to, and then we'll be donating it to a group that gives them out to schools that would be willing to take that sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. I mean, I think I've already mentioned that we at Diary of a Lincoln Geek will be backing this and donating for schools as well. So, I think it's a very worthy cause. As an urge, anyone else who wants to back it for themselves, back it and donate a copy to your local school as well, because I know exactly. I do. I agree. As Lee just said, that it's a very reasonable backing as well. Yeah, it is very decent. Yeah. But did you catch that?
Appreciate that. That's I mean, it's one of those things of we've done our absolute best to make this game not just a game as such, but more a means of making things better in itself. It's why we're donating 50% of our profits to charities that are looking to make the aim of the game happen in real life. And we're offsetting all of our shipping, and we're looking to get, and we're getting the game completely 100% sustainably manufactured, and we're basically doing everything we possibly can to make this not just sort of effectless on the planet, but an active, positive move forward for anyone who backs us and is a part of making this happen.
Yeah, well, I think you've got backer number one online at the moment. It's saying evening all, Middlesex meeting in attendance. We are backer number one, just saying amen to the difficulty level. Played an early prototype and lost only 1 or 2 turns to win. Yeah. very unfortunate if that was the case. I think, like I say, me and my wife were very fluky, and we played it the first time around for me preparing for the review. So we won. But
That's
I
all
think
right.
it was
Next time, Paul. I'm sure you can do it next time.
Yeah, next time, Paul. Keep going. You know, maybe you just need more people to help you. You know, bring in those sustainable locations. So look, unless anyone online has got any other questions, or we've got any other questions in the room for you, we're going to play this bad boy. Yeah, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Before you get started, you have a strain token in the larger segment of climate change, which should in fact be in the smaller one.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
And a thing to remember as you're playing is that these segments are equalized between them. So there should always be more in the smaller one until the smaller one reaches 5, at which case that, everything filters into the next one above it.
Yeah, we found that the hard way. Brilliant. So before we kind of start, I'm just going to reiterate that what characters each of us have got. So I've got the grassroots politician here. So Ree's already asked that question, and I'm already ahead of the game there, Ree. So I've got the grassroots politician. So as an action, you may check the next 2 cards in the social influence deck and rearrange them. So I can rearrange those as an action. And for each sustainable political practice, you may check 1 extra card. So if these are flipped over to sustainable, if that's right, because they're the practices,
that's right.
I can check an extra card during that. Well, that makes sense. Janine, what have you got?
As an action, you may place a protest token on any unsustainable practice. This allows players to flip the unsustainable practice instead of just abandoning it. With each sustainable culture practice, you may place 1 extra protest token.
There we go. So these are the protest tokens here. So these are something we haven't unpacked here yet. So you've got all the different relevant tokens that are associated with relevant characters. So I'll split those out while Mike just tells us what character he's running with.
Got the ecologist. As an action, you may place a regeneration token on any sustainable practice. This reduces 1 extra strain during your next social or associated strain phase. For each sustainable agricultural practice, you may place 1 extra regeneration token.
Yeah, there you go. So these are your regeneration tokens I've just handed. I think you're just ever so slightly out of camera on that side of the board there, Mike, but that's all good. So here we go. So, hang on a second. So we've got Jason Frisbee online. He says, hey guys, early back here with the 100%, we'll be doing it again. Love the changes that you guys have made, and I know Paul and myself will continue to spread the good word all over Facebook and our podcast. Well, that's really nice to hear, guys.
Hi, Jason.
And also, I'm going to really reiterate this. If you're backing it, back it and donate a copy to your local school as well. I'm going to be pushing that.
I could tell. No, I mean, I'm not going to knock it. It's a very, very good. Way to.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how many we can actually get out there, because the more we can push the idea that this is possible, I feel, the more we can actually make it happen. I really think this is a mindset thing first and foremost, and when people start to feel that it's actually tackleable as a subject, then they'll start properly tackling it.
Yeah. Brilliant. And I know someone mentioned earlier on that there was difficult hearing. Hope the sound's a little bit better for people. We've been able to ask for the sound to be turned around and down in the background. So hopefully, as we're playing through, we will, you still hear us. But you can still ask us questions as we're going through as well. Savannah Games, glad to see this in action. It's great to have you on and watching. Thanks, guys. One of our earlier followers to the channel have been very supportive. So Savannah Games, it's great to have you guys online and watching. Because we actually haven't done a live playthrough of a board game like this on Diary of a Lincoln Geek since lockdown. So it's been a while. It's nice to be around and play games with people. So, and live online as well. We're going to hope to be doing more of these going forward. But anyway, without going any further, let's give this go. going. If I remember correctly, what was the rule behind who goes first?
To be honest with you, the first thing you do is you deal out 2 cards to each person, and then based on what you have, you decide from there.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Rosalie, 2 cards. Because as part of the actions, you can trade cards between players as well, can't you?
That's it. So this bit before you get started is almost a little bit where you're able to sort of see what you've already got and decide who should begin, so that you can get at it at your best position.
Yeah. So just literally quickly looking at what we've got. I don't think these 2 are out.
So an important thing that I forgot to mention before is that if a card is of the sector that you're playing, then you can affect practices with just 1. If it's for a different sector, you need 2. So it can be worth giving someone else one of your cards in order so they only need to use 1.
Yeah, yeah. So which ones have you guys got there?
I've got nothing on the board.
So you got nothing that's on the board? So you've got conservation. So basically what we're doing here, like we just said on screen, we're trying to match up the cards that we've got in hand to the sustainable and unsustainable resources on the board. So just spotting them. I've got mineral extraction here, so I know I'm going to hold on to that one. And e-waste isn't on the board yet. And on over here, regenerative mixed farming, no. Chemical farming, no. No, it really looks like we've only got 1 out of the cards in the hand, but then again, there's a lot of influence cards in the deck there to ones that are on the board. Now, if I remember correctly, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, you can't bring out more unsustainables until you flip these to being sustainable. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct at all. So you won't be bringing out unsustainables. You won't be bringing them out. You'll be putting sustainable practices on the board, but you can put them out anyway. So if you let's say, for example, in your hand you've got the deforestation and nature needs half. So because that isn't on the board, you're able to play that card. If you're the agriculture sector, you're able to play that card, and you can put that on the board as a sustainable practice. So your cards don't need to match what's already on the board. You can put new things into play in advance.
But it's the only you need to match them on the board if you're wanting to flip them over from being unsustainable to sustainable.
Remove them, not flip them, just remove them. It's the special ability of the culture player to be able to flip them.
Sorry, say that again?
It's the special ability of the activist, the culture player. That's their special ability to be able to just flip them.
Yeah, cool. Right, okay. So, so I will just try to think about this. So I've got the mineral extraction, and that was over there. So, shall I go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I actually have mineral extraction over here. So I can discard that to flip. Right.
Hey, sorry. Hey, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
So first off, you got to draw 2 more cards, because the beginning of your turn you draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Second of all, if it's not, you're playing the politics sector, right?
Yeah.
So you need a second industry card to be able to affect a practice on that, on the industry.
So I can use the 2 industry cards that I've got here to affect that one.
Yep. So you can remove it.
Yep. So physically remove it.
Yep.
Yep. So that goes from the file. Yep.
So now that you've removed it, that's right. So now that you've removed it, the 2 meeple that were supporting it are now taken and put into poverty.
Yeah.
So, yep, those 2, and the other one.
Hello?
The other one.
Yep, because it was supporting both of them. There you go.
There we go. Cool. It's 4 actions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can choose to remove markers from the board as well if I choose.
That's right.
Yeah. So Sorry? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, all the actions that you can do are on the back of the player cards. So yeah, so you can disband up practices, create sustainable practices, clean up forced rain. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clear up forced rain. Now, like you said, they've got to be even, haven't they? So I can't just take it from here. I've got to take them from here first before affecting the major one. So I'm actually going to go one from here, one from my own sector over here. Which one's your own sectors?
Ecology.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to go with ones outside of our specialisms. Okay, and they go back into
just to make sure you realise you can take them from anywhere. You just have to equalise whatever's left afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. We can also give each of the cards as part of our actions, and we can draw extra cards and reshuffling the discard pile back into the social influence deck. Now, I will admit, me and my wife, when we played, we didn't do that once.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Not going to be able to make any sneaky. Here we go. Look. So Kristen makes a very good point. Not going to be able to make any sneaky misplays past the designer. Yes, exactly. Not. Very true. Very true. That's what he's there for. He's there to make sure we stay true. Because this will be the third time I've played this through. Yeah. So that's two actions, and the third action I think will be to draw a card. So now I've got some overproduction. Overproduction, no, or energy trading.
Overproduction, yeah.
Oh, we've got overproduction. So as part of it's outside of my sector, so I'll have to get rid of another one of the same colour, which I haven't, so I can't do that. So last action, I'm just going to draw another card. Here we go. So that's my 4 actions done, so we'll work our way around clockwise. Janine, if you want to go next. Yeah.
So my cards at the moment are not any good to me yet.
Yeah.
Not even the same colour yet.
Yeah.
However, she can use protest it from any unsustainable practice that allows to fit that unsustainable practice into expanding it. So does that mean that I can use my protest to go to all one of these and then flip that over?
Use on a disbanding instead.
Yeah. We've understood that right? Have we understood that correct?
I couldn't hear it, I'm afraid. Would you be able to say again?
So can you speak up a little bit for us?
Yeah, sorry, my bad. So if I understand my activist card correctly, I can place a protest token on any of these guys, and that allows either me or another player to flip the unsustainable practice instead of disbanding it. Does that then take that bit off the board as well?
That's spot on, and you can do it. You can place it on any unsustainable practice in any sector.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't give you your tokens to that. Sorry.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll do that and then on to more as well.
So to get rid of these, do I have to have the correct production? Effectively, correct.
Once again,
yeah, you have to have the correct unsustainable, like I played earlier. Yeah.
I'm not going to lose,
Yeah.
because I'm going to try and work with the ones that we're going to find a little bit harder.
Outside of our specialisms.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And then I'll draw another card.
Hold on. You didn't draw your first 2 cards at the beginning of your turn.
Yeah, she's just doing that now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Okay, so community support agriculture green alliance.
Food balance. No, and we haven't got the other one.
GDP.
The sustainable development goals.
No.
And then nationalism.
No, not quite yet.
So in that case, can I use 2 outside my community to take? Did you say that you can use 2?
You still have to have one match.
You still have to have one of them matching.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
So I think that ended my turn then, because that's 3 turns. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and you've got 4 actions. You've got 1 more action, so you could.
Take off the tokens.
Yeah. So if you want one from that,
Yeah.
one from that.
1,
Yeah.
2.
Which one? What do you reckon? This is a co-op game, so we should be talking this through. We're allowed to.
Yeah. In fact, I noticed I noticed some of you have your cards face down or to your chest or whatever. It's a no hidden information game, so you can totally have them face up.
No,
Visual.
it's so natural to do.
It's quite a difficult thing for seasoned board gamers to overcome.
2 cards and have to draw a side of it. You get 2 at the start of your turn, that's not an action.
Oh, okay. Not
No. Start of your turn, you draw 2 cards.
There you go and draw on.
industry, disposable plastics, binary materials.
Disposable plastics.
No. Okay, cool. Right, so that's your 4. That's that done. And then we go on to the next person because we don't do.
Hold on. I've just realised, of course.
We didn't. We
strain
skipped
phase.
this. Yes, I know. I did it because you're supposed to do it on every person's play. I just realised that myself. So
Even I didn't notice, so it's all good.
no, it's all right. It's okay. There's a lot going on. It's a live stream, guys. So, like you just mentioned, we didn't add on the strain. So at the end of each person's go, you're supposed to go through the strain phase, or it's 4 weeks. Yeah. So I'm going to try and explain this one, so I don't look so inept.
No problem.
So there's 2 elements to the strain phase. You've got strain phase for each unsustainable resource that's on the board.
Yep.
Yeah. Base starting with my starting sector. So it starts over here, being red. Is that right?
So first you do the population in poverty, and then you do the sectors.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. I must have read it backwards then. So we do the poverty first. So for each row of 3 we have.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got 5 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. No, 6. Six rows of poverty.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's 3. That's why we do them in 3s. It's just easier. So we've got to add 6 starting from my area, around the board, and we have to even it up as we go. Yes.
That's right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're all even at the moment. So that's good. Okay, and then we add them for the unsustainable areas as well, don't we? So we haven't flipped anything yet, or removed anything yet. So we get 2 there. Yeah?
Yep.
Evening it up. And obviously once it gets to 5, that's when they spill over to the other area. We get 2 here again. 1 here because I successfully removed 1. Yay. 2 here, yeah, 2 here, and then the same thing here. So, this section's this area is surprisingly, as long as you keep consistent with it and do it step by step, it doesn't get too overwhelming.
So then you have to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
You only tick off and you only do that once per round.
I think if I remember correctly, any of these actions you can do multiple times. That's correct. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
So you could just spend the entire time if you felt it was necessary to remove, the counters. Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That works. Sorry, stranger. Needed to be asked.
No.
Fine. One last thing is, you're almost right about equalization. They actually equalize actively all the time. So for example, if you've got just like it's being done at this second.
Yeah.
So that would now be accurate. Yeah. So that's ongoing throughout the game. You just have them split between the 2.
Yeah, but it's when they get to 5 that's when they permanently spill over into the other areas. Because it's 15, and then you get these. Yeah.
That's it.
Now I need to do.
Yes, we need to do the same thing for you now, because of course we skipped it.
Yeah.
Just start one on each area. Go to the top one, maybe. Balance that one, yeah.
Thanks, Savannah. So Savannah again saying they're having to ship out. Good luck with the rest of the playthrough. Earth Rising, a must back for us, and when it lands, Kickstarter. Beautiful game. Yeah.
Thanks, Savannah.
Yeah. Chris Scott says it has a great table presence, which is nice as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It does look great. And like I say, this is just the prototype, yeah. So I'm kind of leaving you guys to it while I'm just keeping an eye on what's going on. Okay, so we're on a new round right now. So he's drawing 2. Uh-oh. Oh no. No. We've got a status quo card. So we'll just show it to the camera very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you want to read through what we do?
Traditionalist resurgent. Draw one influence card plus one for each sustainable culture practice.
So, influence card, yeah.
Okay. Add any unsustainable practices drawn to the board. Financial gatekeeping. That's the blue section.
Yeah, I need to find it.
That one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
If the practice drawn is already unsustainable, add 2 ecological strain tokens. That's fine. Actually, that's one on the board.
Yeah.
If it is already sustainable, disband it and remove it from the board. If it cannot be placed on the board, draw another card and apply its effects.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that goes to discard pile, yeah. So there you go. We managed to, get some shenanigans with our status quo card.
Okay, so I got nothing.
These are what really mix it up. You think you're doing really well, then you draw a status quo card, and that's it.
They are very troublesome.
For adding a sustainable culture into my own area, do I just need one card?
Sorry, say that again.
To add a sustainable practice, do I just need a card?
Yeah, within your specialism, yes. If it's outside of your specialism, it's 2.
Okay. So
that was correct.
Right, spot on.
Thank you. Unless you speak up, I'm going to just assume I'm correct.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best.
So add polyculture farming.
Yeah.
Which goes there.
Yeah.
Increasing population support. So I don't say one on the card.
So because there's no more circles, there's no more slots, therefore you're currently not able to support more people.
Oh, right, so I'm going to do one of them first.
Yeah, you can still place the practice, it's just that more people are added.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't add them until you flip these over.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's one action.
Yeah. I will say we're seeing a lot of street tokens already, so we might want to try and remove some of these.
I'm going to
maybe.
Second action. I mean, base regeneration token on any sustainable practice. So on that area.
There's only one sustainable there.
And for each sustainable agricultural practice can base an extra token.
Yeah.
Like that. I can still only add 1 to.
Yeah.
Correct. Can't have 2 to the same thing, can they?
From the regeneration for the ecologist.
Can you add them both to the same practice?
So no, basically you only, because there's only one sustainable practice down at the moment, you'd only be able to put 1 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might still work with us, so it reduces that.
Yeah.
I'll do a bit of a cleanup. So 4 strain on any ecological burden.
Yeah.
That's high. No, I can take them from anywhere, but then you have to balance out.
Yeah, take them from any region and then you balance out, yeah.
Right, so 1 from culture, 1 from here.
Yeah. That's agriculture, 1 from politics.
And 1 from energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to make sure you are able to take multiple from the same sector or whatever. You can take all 4 from 1 or 1 from all of them like you've been doing. It's very flexible.
Yeah. So how many actions is that? 2? You've done 2?
That's
3, yeah. 3.
So I placed the token on it and I've cleaned up.
Yeah. Either draw a card or you can
I think I might clean it up a little bit more.
Yeah, let's do a bit more cleanup.
So this one's going to, I'll take that off there. I'm going to take a lot out there anyway. I'm easily balancing.
Yeah. Looking pretty good. Everyone can see everything all right. Simon says, very welcome to, it's nice to also watch this being played, and is telling me to stop cheating. I'm not cheating.
Okay, so that is only
I've just got the designer spotting things I didn't quite interpret correctly.
so that's only associated constraint, please. So I get 6 from this, and then it'd be 1 for each of these.
Yeah, so we do the poverty first.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
5.
6. There you go. It starts with your starting area, so you start from here and you work your way around. You're the active player.
It's not too big a deal at this stage because obviously there's 1 for each sector, so it's pretty simple to work out. But later on, it will be quite crucial as you have only so many going round, and so that determines where it gets.
It's a good practice just to do, isn't it? Though.
Yeah.
So that one's got 3. The blue section.
So blue section's got 3, so yeah, that gets 3. We might want to try and start, flipping some of these if we can. Or getting rid of them.
I'll reach out and do the next
You're evening it out as you go, anyway. It's all good.
And this one, I can take 1 off associated strain. Reduces 1 extra strain. So it says 1 extra. Does the fact that it's sustainable make it reduced by 1 anyway?
So when you're doing the calculation, for each unsustainable, it's -1. Oh, sorry, it's at +1, isn't it?
Yeah.
+1 strain for each one. So we've got +2 at the moment. We've got a sustainable, so it's -1.
And that takes another 1.
That takes another 1. So there's actually no strain. It's equalised here, so nothing gets added here.
Does that come back to me at the end of my turn then?
No, it stays there.
Yeah. That's the great thing with your characters.
The only time it will come off is if either a status quo strike means that token is taken away, or you decide to move it somewhere else when you use your ability.
Take that goes to there.
Yeah.
It's being used.
Yeah.
Right, that is my 4 goes and stranger.
Yeah. So it's back to me. Because it's start my go, let's draw 2 cards.
At least the green section doesn't gain additional string, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right, so we've got polarization media, social media, media watchdogs.
No single use and population growth.
So we've got population growth. Brilliant. Right, okay.
We don't have.
No, we don't. No, that's fine. So we haven't got
gonna have to call you out here. What's do you remember if there's a hand limit?
Yes, there is. There's a hand limit of 5. Was that correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So I've got to discard down. So I've got to decide what I want to keep. So I want to try and keep some of my specialism.
Is that before you do anything else? Or
as soon as you hit that limit, you do it straight away, don't you?
So you do it before you take your actions. So not as soon as you take it. Not as soon as you hit it. It's just before you do your actions.
Yeah, avoid his actions to give a card to someone.
Nonetheless, before you can begin your actions, you have to decide.
So at the start of the go, I've drawn 2, I've hit my limit, so I now have to choose what to get rid of. So we know this could potentially come out in play, so we may as well keep that. I've got 2 pairs here outside of my specialism, along with that one, so it could be useful. I keep those ones and maybe that one. So I'm going to discard the parable zones. Okay, so that's going to go there. Right, so now I go into the 4 actions.
Oh, you've got a 6.
Yeah, so you need to get rid of. We've hit the hand limit over here, so Janine's going to do that now before it comes round to her.
No problem. It's important that you do it after you've drawn your cards, because then you get to decide based on those as well.
Yeah, but you've been.
Yeah, she's already out.
Yeah, we didn't know. That's fine. We didn't know. We'll do it at the start of your round. Yeah. So blame me. It's fine. I'll take one. Right, so okay, so my 4 actions. So I'm going to we said we hadn't got this one out here yet. So
you need 2 greens to do that.
Yes, I need that, 2 greens. So I've got ones outside of the specialism here, but they still need to be on the board for me to do at least one of them. So I can't do anything with those just yet. So I think probably that is best if I remove some strains from the board.
With these ones that we are actually obviously benefiting, But adding sustainability is not better to give cards to the person who is the correct colour.
Exactly, yes. So any of these useful for you right now? Think that you can
For adding sustainable, she could be using just one card. Nothing to remove.
Yeah, nothing can be removed. Right, okay.
So you can still add one because you've got multiple culture cards. So you could spend one of them and spend an additional one to make it happen in someone else's sector. So
yes.
Take, for example, the top one there that you've got. I'm pretty sure it's plant-based diet. Yeah, if you take that one and then discard another one of your culture cards, you can immediately put that practice into sustainability in that sector this turn.
So the same as if you're trying to get rid of sustainable, but you use two cards to add sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you add an unsustainable, yeah. Is it adding an unsustainable or adding a sustainable?
Adding a sustainable. So the white
adding
side.
a sustainable. So I get rid of those two, and then I can search for the plant-based diet and put it in.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless you prefer the other one, you can pick.
Yeah. So it's outside of my specialism, hence I need the two cards.
That's it.
Okay, go. So we've added that in, so now we've got a chance of leveling out over here.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm going to hold on to this. So I'm going to still do I'm going to draw one. Yeah, that's one of my actions. Yeah, and I've got habitat destruction and pollinator projections, and I've got one of those, so I can actually flip that as one of my other actions.
You've got two greens.
Yeah, so I've got two greens, but I don't need to have two greens because it's outside of my specialism.
But you say
you do.
That just discards it, doesn't it?
Yes, it discards it. Yeah, it doesn't flip it to sustainable.
But you need to make it so it can flip.
Right. Okay.
So all I need is one green on my turn, and I can make that sustainable.
Okay. So do you want me to I'll trade it to you then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if I give you the habitat destruction then, so do that on your go.
If you put a token on that.
Yeah. You can put a token on that in your go. So that's my two actions, and now let's take some strain off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I might just do it again. I'm going to do it twice, so we'll do it over here as well. 2, let's level it up, thank you. Where else is looking bad?
This one's got
Yeah, okay, let's get 2 up there as well then. Yeah, and level.
that's equal, They're all going to start.
Yeah, they all are going to start, so yeah, stick with that. Right. Strain, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're adding 6 on. 6. Don't forget to use the special ability of culture to make it easy to flip practices. Yeah, Ree, thank you very much. I probably should have done that. It's a bit late now. Just reminding me to use the special abilities on my character. So. Sorry, I can't reach. Thank you. On that. That has to go to that one.
Yeah.
That one has to go to there to equalise out. That one has to go to there to equal out. That one has to go there to equal out. Okay. Sorry?
Your action.
Yeah, on my actions, as an action, you can take check the next 2 cards on the social influence step and rearrange them. So I probably should have done that. And for each unsustainable practice, I can check 1 extra card. Yes, I mustn't forget about that.
Yeah, you can do it to force
Yeah. Yeah. So now we need to add the rest. So we're starting here. So we've got 2 to that one.
1 on the back.
Yeah, 1 front, 1 back. Here.
2 here.
2.
Same again.
Yeah.
1 on there.
It really is important to remember to remember the level it out, isn't it?
That one balances it.
Yeah, that's still balanced out because we've got minus 2 plus 2, so that's fine. And then here is 1, 2, 3. Oh no, but you've got your counter here, so we don't ignore that. So it's just 2.
No,
right.
that doesn't affect it in that way.
Doesn't, that's fine. So it's just the 3 then.
That just means you can flip that one instead of slapping it.
That's it. Yes. Fingers are failing me now.
On that, obviously, when you disband the unsustainable, you lose the support and they go into the middle. If it's flipped, you just keep the support on the card. Sorry.
I didn't catch that, sorry.
Did you want to say that again?
So when you disband an unsustainable one, you have to move the property back into the middle, correct?
Yeah, if it isn't supported by something else.
So, but if that's flipped instead and made sustainable, do you just keep the token on it because you haven't got rid of the token?
It'll be a different card that you're using to make it sustainable. So it'll be a different result.
What's that?
I struggle to hear you. Hang on a sec. Just to speak up again for us.
So if you're disbanding a practice, then you're using its particular card to disband it. If you're putting another one on as sustainable, then you're going to be using a different card for that. Or unless you're talking about the protest token, my apologies.
No, because you've got the protest token, it'll flip over. So do you just keep the support on the timer?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, that's okay. We unfortunately had some kids kind of speak up and laugh in the background as you spoke. So
yeah,
one of the joys of live streaming in a popular venue.
I can imagine.
Yes, it is. It's nice to hear. It's nice to be somewhere that's playing lots of games. Right. So.
Yes.
So you're drawing 2 first.
Before you know that's not an action, that's mandatory.
It's mandatory at the start of the go. And then you can judge what you want to start down to. We're not ordering drinks now.
So what's this? Nope.
Culture.
Single use clothing. Yeah, that's it. So you could disband that.
Yeah.
Or you could flip it, you know. Yeah. One or the other.
Okay, so thinking
No, you have to get rid of the cards.
You have to get rid because it starts one of the actions as your go. And you're doing this before.
what I take down by the cards too.
Right, fine.
Five, yeah.
Yeah, those three.
So those 3 to the scar pile?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can now place 2 of them on one go because you've got a sustainable culture.
Okay, so
So if you use your action on the protest,
yeah.
then you can place 1 on your clothing and 1 in the agriculture, which means you can get 2 flipped over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of disbanding.
Yeah, and therefore less poverty.
And I can really utilize.
On this one, yeah.
And I can then really utilize.
Yeah.
So then that's decided, isn't it? That's the
Yes.
clothing.
Yeah.
So that's 1 action.
One action. So
then, does that mean that I could speak with Michael Green and you red card?
You can give us any card.
yeah, you can give us any cards.
So I'm just thinking, because you guys can then use those cards to help when your sector
Yeah.
comes around.
No, makes sense.
Is it, how many is it? 1?
You get 1 card.
Yeah. 1 card, yeah.
Okay, so how many times have I just done? I've done.
You've done 1.
One action to that.
Yeah.
You did the relevant thing.
So that'd be action 2 because you
Yeah.
flipped that.
Yeah.
Which I assume that goes back to you now.
Do I flip this one over?
And you need 2 clues.
Yeah.
But you when you flip this one over, that's what you do.
That's the only, that only requires the 1 to flip that.
That's 2 actions you've done.
Yes. Yes, that because of that allows you to flip it rather than expanding it.
Then I just do 4 actions.
Yeah. So that was 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've it's
So I'm just working out whether or not to
You've
do
got 2 actions to go.
yeah.
property and.
I'd probably clean up the sections with
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
This
yeah.
one's getting close.
That's what I'm thinking.
one at least 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think on this.
Especially when the infrastructure.
They still balance out.
Yeah,
So,
the infrastructure is taking the biggest hit at the minute.
yeah.
Yeah.
So balance out. 4 and 1. Yeah.
And then I'm going to give.
So not the greens on the field.
Are any of these reds on the field?
No.
So we're on turn 4, yes? Yeah, so we should.
Does this go?
Yeah, we haven't been flipping that each time.
So is this each player that?
So each player is one year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should be down 3 years.
Yeah. So you're about to finish turn 5.
Yeah. So we're in 2025. Yes. I just saw a comment from Rhea on the channel going, saying, "What year are you on now?" And I'm like, "Yes, we've not been flipping the cards." Time machine. The joys of online streaming, though. It's all good.
So green currently doesn't take massive hits.
Yeah. So
green balance itself.
green's balancing is between at the minute industry and politics.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and purple loses strain technically.
Potentially, yeah. This is where you're kind of trying to projecting where things are going to go.
As it stands at the minute, there is more sustainable and unsustainable process again, not impacted.
Yeah.
So
I'm more looking. It's just these are still unsustainable.
Well, this is at 10.
We've got nobody in the sector.
Yeah, and that's at 10.
Yeah,
and that's at 10.
But so one thing that's interesting is where you think you have got a positive rather than a negative, and I'm sure you'll correct me here. If we can remove them from a particular section like this one, that will then flip over. Is that right?
So if the player in question has their sector that has that bit empty, they can do it as a free action. Otherwise, if you're doing it in someone else's sector's turn, you can spend one of the influence cards related to it to flip it as an action.
There you go. Catch that? Right. So if it was me and the active player and I was trying to flip over my section, trying to change into the middle as part of action, it's a free action for me. Because I've cleared that. If I was able to clear all the tokens out of that area, and from that area, then that will flip over. If it's outside of my specialism, I've got to discard cards in order to do it. But what they've got to do is clear or the strain in that area.
Those 4 rock, you can give automatically flip it over as a free action.
Yes, because it's in your specialism. So that's why I was thinking. But does it remind me? Does it do it abilities immediately, or it's part of one of your actions, isn't it?
If it's in. Sorry, which are you talking about here when you say?
So if Janine was to clear, that's at the end. So as part of her actions now, she's going to be potentially clearing some strain in the biodiversity, biodiversity loss.
Yeah.
If she was to clear all 4 out of there now, it would flip over into the middle. Yes.
Not quite, because you've still got 4 in the bottom there, so they would automatically equalize up.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it equalises up, so you have to clear more.
Yeah.
Or in theory, all of it for it to then equalise up and to be able to flip over.
All but one.
All but one. Yeah. Brilliant. Understanding that right? Okay. So
so you can't
quite flip over yet.
So I tend to look at the danger zone.
Yeah. So we've got industry and politics and both looking quite unhealthy at the moment.
Yeah, I'd agree there.
I'm thinking of
So energy at the minute they're all on 10.
Yeah.
okay. So
I'm really tempted to not do this, but I'm gonna call him out here. Reason, called you out here, Laurie. Even you get to flip the calendar cards.
So, yeah, I mean, I get way too absorbed by it. I'm just so focused on what I'm doing and where I'm doing things that I'm like, right, okay, it's your go next.
And I do too.
Yeah, exactly. So the good news, at least, is because it's one every turn, it's normally pretty easy to be like, okay, since we last did it, I think it was 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So that's 4 actions.
Yeah.
So 1 every. Sam has to go. Your right. So Sam here.
So yeah, so we're now doing the strain.
Yeah. Down there.
Yeah. That one up there. So you got it on my. This one's going down below.
And now your economic strain.
Yeah.
So you actually, am I right in saying you would lose 1 instead?
So we've got -1, either
+1, -1,
we're +1 here, if that's right. So +1, we take
a strain off.
Yeah, a strain off. Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
So
We're basically in credit.
Yeah.
We're converting, so we're removing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to freely admit here, Laurie, that me and my wife probably made a couple of mistakes, which is why we did so well in our first game. But it's a learning game. And to be honest, I was trying to read the rules off an iPhone because with the prototype, I didn't get instructions in the box.
Yeah.
So, which I think is quite good, because let's face it, you can read instructions off an electronic device. It doesn't need to be a paper book.
There doesn't have to be, but I think it's for a game with as many parts and as many elements to it as this one does. I think it's really important that people are able to play it without any issues. So one will definitely still be included, even though hypothetically it's unnecessary paper. I think it's still necessary in my book.
Yeah. So Chris Prescott says he's got to head off now, but the game continue to look good and play great every time I see it. All the best with the launch, Ree and Laurie, and catch you on day one.
Thanks very much, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Chris. It's nice to have you on the stream. Do subscribe to the channel, guys, if you are having to disappear off, because you'll catch more updates with a lot of things that we do. So we're just enjoying playing at the moment, guys. So,
so the first action.
I mean, Laurie, I know we said you don't have to stay for the whole play of the game. So if you decide you want to shoot off at some point, do feel free. We're not forcing you to stay on, because we know we organised this lastminute.com.
No worries, that's fine. I'm having a good time watching, so it's all good.
That's all right, good.
So you've actually got a comment from Simon Devine, which I'll answer for you if that's okay. So
during the play,
yeah, go ahead.
During the playtesting, what player count did you find gave you the best balance and best chance of winning? Ooh.
So yeah, during playtesting, it was one of those things we actually worked very hard on, trying to make sure that there wasn't any sort of weighting towards any particular area. So take, for example, earlier on, Chris said about how it was easier if you have more players. I'm actually not sure that's correct, because the more players you have, the faster you go through the cards and the less you're able to use your special abilities quickly. So it means that status quo cards come out more often, and as a result, you're having to counteract bad effects more. Whereas with less players, you don't have to deal with that quite so much. What's really interesting, I think, is that the game is probably the most, I would say, balanced with 3 to 4. But with 6 players, 5 or 6 players, you've got a very, how best to put it, like it's just a very different way of playing. You kind of, if you get used to playing with 3 or 4 players, you end up having to change your strategies in order to be able to win the game through 5 or 6. And I think in a way, I'm glad it's ended up the way that it did, because it means that you have more reasons to play with more players. You don't have, you don't necessarily get the pandemic problem of, by having more actions for more players, you therefore are able to win the game really quickly, because the board doesn't really have a chance to catch up. Whereas, it's one of the things where, trying to think how best to put it, it's one of the reasons why we changed the solo rules to be what they were, because the hardest part was when you were playing on your own. And so solo rules, you kind of were forced to play with multiple characters, and that's why we added the election mechanic for solo. So you're playing multiple characters, but it's got a special mechanic to keep it fresh. So yeah, we've put a lot of work into making sure that it's a great game on all levels, however many players you have. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, no, and I think that's one of the things that we like about it as well, because it has all those different levels. It's not just one thing you've got to think about. It's all those multiple different things to think about. I think it's why it's so engaging.
And my last action is to remove those 4 strings. I'll go through what I've done in a second. Okay, so before I go into that, so all I've done, flip that for our first one.
Yep.
added a sustainable to the blue one.
Yeah.
And then used my action to put 3 new tokens down. So obviously boost them a bit more. And then just done a small cleanup over here. Just so they don't reach any up.
Yep.
Ecological collapse.
Yeah.
So onto this, 1 on every area.
You might want to come over here. Be up power. Did you just
Starting my one off, 4 wrong.
Yeah.
So plus 3.
So yeah, taking 3 off. Yeah.
The blue zone is add 3 to that, but take off 2, so only have 1.
Yeah. So
Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, so there's 14 on that now.
yeah, so a 1 off from collapse.
Yeah, and it will only gain 1 in its turn, but
Yeah.
at least take 1 off and keep it
Yeah.
ticking. I'll gain 2, sorry, so 1 on 3 off, so 2 off.
Yeah.
2 1,
Yeah.
which is again another high one.
Yeah.
So that's now at 8.
Spread them out so we can see.
Right,
2 on this one.
Yeah, not looking
This is
good.
why I counted it before I cleaned up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
So I think we need to start on the availability.
start looking at those cards.
Start looking at those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for me, so it's 2027 now. I'm going to head off to have a good evening. Donkey's walking. But good luck transforming our society. You can do it. Thanks, Ree. Go walk that all important mutt. Brilliant. So, right, so it's my go. So, I draw my 2 cards first.
Yeah.
I'm on 3 at the moment,
so
so
that gets you 5.
I'm fine. So I get 5. Right, so we've got centralised metropolises. No, 0 carbon communities.
The yellow, so no. Oh, sorry, that's sustainability.
Yeah.
So no.
No. And then lowest bidder supplier.
Yes.
Yes, right, so I'll hold on to that one.
Yeah.
Potentially hold on, good balance, you can hold on to that for a moment. Right, so, part of my ability. As an action, you may check the next 2 cards in the social influence deck and rearrange them.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
How many per each bonus?
And for each sustainable political practice, you may check 1 extra card. But unfortunately, I've got no sustainables.
Yeah.
So it's only the 2 I can look at the moment. So we've got regeneratively farmed meat, industrial farming.
No.
And closed door deals and government transparency.
Neither of them.
So neither of those. So
It won't make a
I'm
great
not going to
deal.
make a great deal about
We need
rearranging
to,
those.
realistically, we need to give it some red
But
cards.
I'm going to rearrange that, draw that, and I can hand the
Yeah.
I can take
And
the
then you
red
can have a
cards.
sustainable project.
Yeah. So that was 1 action, drawing, doing that.
Yeah.
So second action, I draw a card.
Which means you have to get rid of one as well.
Yeah, that's fine. I can
Yeah.
trade 1. If I trade 1 off to you first, yeah. So if I give you the voter apathy, yeah. Okay.
Neither of those beds are in box.
Yeah.
Action group
Yeah.
event, so it means it's
Now,
easier.
that's a question. So when you're trading a card, do you exchange or are you just giving 1, aren't you? Oh, you've lost it. Your sound's
It
gone.
just says give.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't know why you're.
Sorry, my apologies. I accidentally hit my mute button.
That's all right.
I actually attempted to say something earlier, and now I know why you couldn't hear me. So basically, yeah, you're just giving 1 to someone else. You're not exchanging.
Yeah, it's not an exchange. That's why, or it'd be too powerful. So I'm giving you a card. That's fine. And then, now I'll draw 1.
The only problem you can't justify you building it without having any close to collapse.
No. So maybe I do 2 rounds and clear it up.
Yeah. We need to get rid of crystal tokens at least half the areas.
Yeah. Let's do that
And
then.
then we can just
So this is close to ecological collapse. as is that
Chris,
one. Isn't it?
don't forget that if you were to draw that card, you would only need that one card to affect politics because that's the player you're playing.
Exactly, that's what I was initially thinking, but we are close to ecological collapse. This is what I think we might only have one, but yes, exactly. So I need to at least take 2 from here as one of my actions. So I can still draw it, but I just won't be able to do anything with it yet.
I see. Fair
So we're trying to understand, we're trying to figure out here whether we want to risk drawing it or I just do 2 rounds of clearing up.
We give you the card
Yeah, we
on our turn.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do the cleanup.
If we don't clean up,
So this is one thing I like about this game. It's co-op and there is so much going on. And the communication about this game is what another little subtle thing we should all be doing. We should all be talking about these kind of sustainable things.
As an example, 4 zones are about to go into collapse if we don't. Well, that's 3 definite, and this one's on the third.
Yeah, okay, so we definitely need to take 2 from here.
At least 2 from there.
At least 2 from there.
This is going to gain 3, and you're on 13, so you
Yeah,
need
so
at least
2 from there. We'll take 2 from there. I'm going to clear 8. So there's the first 4. Second, the last action is going to get another 2, so we'll take another 2 from there. Yeah, this is so they don't go into ecological collapse. Maybe we should let 1 go so we can demonstrate. No. 2, 4, 6, 7.
5, 7, yeah, so that's 12, and then those are going to be gain 2.
Yeah,
So that one's only needs 1 taken off realistically.
Well, take 1 from there. So we've got 3 more to remove.
1 more.
Oh yeah, 1 more. So I would say that one.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure, yeah.
The blue one.
The blue one.
The blue one's only going to gain 1.
Yeah, so you're
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 2.
No. Unsustainable.
But that adds 2 back on.
But that's 2 back on. You're only going to gain 1, yeah.
Don't forget the extra from poverty.
Yeah. 12, 13 arrow to this turn.
So
it's not going into collapse in your turn.
right.
Which means as long as you do clean as well, it's taking back.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's guaranteed to gain at least 3.
Yes, it is, yeah. So that's fine, let's do that one. Yeah, there you go. That's my 4 actions done.
And you kill someone any.
Not the table. Alright, so we're adding 6 again. So now 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're adding 2 to this one. 2 to that one. We're adding 2 there. We're adding 1 here.
Yeah.
We're adding, so this is equalised.
That one actually loses out.
That's losing 1.
Well, it plus 4, and so we lose 3 on that.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Of course, it equalises. And then here we're losing 1, 2, 3, back to 1. Because of the 2 from that, so this is 1. No, adding 1. Sorry.
So now 14, correct?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13.
13, yeah. And then here we've got -1, so 1, 2, 3. So we're taking off 2.
This one, take 2 off.
Taking 2 off, yeah. There we go. That's it. Right, so, and of course, equalise, everything else looks equalised. Okay, right, so it's your go.
Well, we know what card you get.
Yeah.
You need to pass one over that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can choose which quality you want.
Yeah.
You still wasn't drawn first. Yeah. Because you'd have to discard a card.
Yeah.
So I've now got 5.
You have to discard.
Industrial means imposed ordeals.
By right, we need to get rid of 2 cards then.
Yeah, regeneration farming, remove those.
No, overfishing. Both ordeals. No. So it's possibly worth discarding.
Yeah.
So in that case, I will discard those 2.
Yeah. So we're
that
discarding
keeps my
these 2.
unit down to 4 still.
So discarding those.
Yeah, and then she gave you one as the first action.
Yeah.
Sorry,
My
hang on.
tokens down.
Sorry?
You just discarded 2 different sectors cards. Have you been doing that the whole time, or they're supposed to be the same?
No, you discarded hand down, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. She discarded hand size down because she
did these out of order.
Yeah, she did a little
Gotcha.
bit out of order. So,
Yeah.
I see.
So I need to put a
Yeah.
token, and I'm thinking either one of our danger zones is what I'm thinking.
yeah, I would agree.
There's nothing you can flip here yet, is there? So definitely put one into here.
Yeah.
I can only do one because it says A protest token.
Yeah, but for each sustainable quarter you get to add an addition.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You've got.
You want 2 sustainable, so you can add 3 tokens every turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where your ability gets really good.
Yeah.
It's like mine, I get to add an
Yeah.
additional one every time there's another sustainable agriculture. But unfortunately, I only have 80 total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why these 4 aren't getting used.
Just yeah.
How long did it take you to come up with a reasonable level of tokens for those abilities?
It's actually pretty straightforward, because if it's the number of sustainable practices plus 1, and there are only 7 sustainable practices for each sector, then you're going to need 8.
Oh, there you go then.
Yeah, these ones I'm not using until I get something flipped in these zones, because then I can at least add 1 to every zone.
So actually, I'd quickly like to correct something.
Oh, hang on a sec. So what's to correct something? Go on.
Correct something. You said, sorry, is it Mike?
Yep.
Yep. You said before that you can add 3 protest tokens every turn. Just to be sure, the number is your cap. So you can put 3 down, but you're not able to put additional ones down.
Yeah.
You have support for.
Yeah, I'm just holding on to these 4 because this area's got nothing protecting at the minute and it's building up too quickly.
Totally.
But I
But
want to start working so I can start working them down.
So I've realised though that you've got 4 regeneration tokens down. Is that right, or is that the light on the one in?
4 down so far, yes.
So you're only able to support 3 because you've got your +1, and then you've got the 2 sustainable practices. That makes a total of 3 you're able to support.
Oh, so you got, although it was brave time I did the action.
We've made that really much clearer on the character cards since this prototype was printed. So it's easy to understand why you'd make that assumption. It was a mistake on our part early on.
But I can only support 1 plus.
So
is the maximum I can support is 3. Correct?
say again, sorry.
The most I can support them is only 3.
That's right.
Right.
So if you pick one of the ones that you've got currently on the board and reduce it down to 3, then that will be, you'll be spot on.
It's got the strongest boost on it, so I'll take it back.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 protest tokens. I've got 2 left.
But I'm assuming that's the same rule for the purple. She can support maximum 2.
That's it. So every time that she'll make use of one, it gets given back. So the next turn she'll be able to use it again. But
You can support up to 2 more actions, 1 plus the 2 sustainable.
That's it.
So danger zones.
Support 1 in politics, because we know we can get sustainable on that very soon.
Yeah.
Although it's a bit weird because you can't guarantee they're coming.
Yeah, true.
Put it down, just pick one, because we don't know which order they're coming out in.
That's the problem.
And then I'd probably just say 1 in industry.
Yeah, that's only getting 1 of mine.
Yeah. And,
That's only got 1.
Yeah.
yeah, it's only got the 1.
So that's 2 actions now.
And the more we can live without throwing it here, the more
Yeah.
beneficial it is.
So 2 more actions. I'm going to take up to 8 tokens away now.
Yeah.
Same time as before, these are our danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These 4 are the danger zones.
So if I take 2 off every one,
Well,
would that help?
this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that means 2 taken off it. It's going, or at least 1 taken off, because it's going up by 2.
Yeah. 1 for poverty and 1 for very sustainable.
5, 10, 14.
I can have the cash myself to remember about poverty as well as the 1.
14 in here. So you have to get rid of, and it's going to gain 3. So you're going to want to get rid of at least 3 out of that one.
Okay. So I just split them however you
So 3 out of that one.
On eBay,
and 1 hour.
So that's 4.
That's one
4
turn.
left. Yeah, then my last turn I have 4 left.
Which would be 9, 10, 30, so 11 out of that.
Yeah.
And 2 out of that.
So out of this one?
Yeah, none of them should be able to hit poverty or hit collapse then.
Yeah. How many is that going to remove?
8.
8.
8. So
Okay.
4 turns in mine done. So now I need to do people poverty and
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again.
yeah. Thank you.
6. Yeah. Okay, so I'm in here.
So minus
So that's adding 1, taking 1 away, taking 2 away.
2 total.
2 total taken off. Yeah.
That works very nicely. This one, however,
Is,
That one's going on by 2.
yeah, this doesn't take into account only the green stop.
So 2 on this one.
2 on that one. Yeah. Same here again. This doesn't stop anything, but it's 2 for that one.
Yeah.
Then 1 for this one.
Yeah.
because once we can get them down,
And that one I
that's
actually get
fine.
back.
Counter 2 back.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, no, 1 back. You're right.
No, 2.
That counters.
Yeah, and then that's
to
worth
one-
2.
That's 1, 2. So yes, sorry. Equalize.
I've might be the same question here.
Yeah.
It says that I can flip that sort of practice instead of disband.
Yeah, so-
So is that an action that I can do?
So if you try to disband one of these, you have the right card to disband that with that instead of getting rid of them.
Yeah, to be
So
sustainable.
it's like a free action, you don't have to add one afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it becomes sustainable, therefore it becomes a positive rather than.
Yeah.
Something occurred to me as well. Like the cap on these cards says obviously you place a token and for each thing you can have an additional place.
Yes.
I'm assuming you can only still only place 1 token at a time. It's just that cap is 3.
I hate lying.
You see what I mean? So it's for each sustainable agriculture practice, you may place 1 extra token, but I'm assuming not on that turn. Because that's my maximum cap is I can have 3 out.
Yeah, well, that's what it was explaining.
Yeah, but my point, so when we go to use it, I can't then, if I only got 1 out, I can't say, oh, I'll have 3 on the board, I can still only add 1 to the board that turn.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Is that right?
You can rearrange them if you want to, is the other thing.
You can rearrange them.
So effectively consider it as using the action is effectively replacing all of them wherever you want, up to your
But
cap.
if for example, I had the space to add 2 new ones, would it cost me 2 actions to place them, or would it cost me 1 action to place as many as I wanted?
So it would cost you 1 action to place the additional new ones, and if you want to, also rearrange the old ones.
Right.
Brilliant. Excellent. That clarifies that. That's really useful to know.
Yeah, so the action is you only get to place 1.
Yeah, place 1, but you get to rearrange.
Right, everything else, so once this is clear,
Yeah.
it's going to be quite pointless having them.
Yes, they're not stuck there, or they would be forever stuck in that location and you can't rearrange them, is that right? Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
maybe one of the start getting rid of these, that's it.
Yes. The thing is, I can get them off in one turn.
2 cards.
I'm literally just going to go and ask for some water. Do you guys want anything?
Why do I keep drawing the stats for you?
Oh,
I would like some water.
just water, yeah.
Tamble.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, 1 influence card plus 1 for each sustainable energy practice. Well, there's only 1, so there's only no sustainable. Okay. Add any unsustainable practice drawn to the board. Private corporation. It's a blue one again.
Blue one.
Is private corporation already out? Oh, hang on, we can't. No,
Private corporation is
we
here.
can't add it. Because it's already full.
Yeah.
So, like, if it can be placed on the board, draw another card, let's take that as discarded.
Yeah.
I'll try again. Purple. No, it's there's discrimination. Is it already out?
No. Discrimination. Here we go.
Yes, please, me.
Down that pesky discrimination.
So that goes there, and that goes there. And once again, now you're only going to draw one card.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. I know obviously you had the premise behind the game, which was all well and good. But how long did it take for you guys to kind of come up with the terminology for all your mechanics, or did it just come naturally?
Well, basically what it comes down to is this is the reason why we approached all those different charities, because I'm not from a climate background. I can't assume that even putting all my time into research, I'm necessarily going to get it right. So the thing I did was I approached the people who are actually specialists in this subject, people who are actually doing this for real, and I got their input, and they helped me narrow it down to the 7 things in each sector that had the most impact. So that's these practices that you see here are not the final ones. We had to get the prototypes printed earlier than we could get them finalized. So some of the practices will have changed in the final version, but it's a good approximation.
No, it's great. You know, and it's a little bit attention to detail. So the fact that some of this is changing, you know, that says a positive thing.
Yeah.
I don't have any more of these out at the minute, but can I still rearrange them for one action?
You certainly can.
Yeah. So, do we then pop that one on there?
I'm thinking more, so it has gone sustainable.
Yes, of course it is.
But that still gets me 1 off every turn, even if I take this away.
Yes.
Whereas that, I can now counter and stop things. That makes the energy sector.
Yes.
Except for the poverty.
Yeah.
Red zone, what do we lose?
Yeah, but I can clean that now because that's only 2 actions.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So, 1, 2. Read that one.
Yeah. Do you want to take something here as well?
Yeah, that's 1 green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Danger zones. It's very clear as you go in. You know, the danger zones happen to be in the industries that you've not got players for.
Yeah, you don't have quite as much influence over those, so as a result, they transform slower.
Yeah. Did I see earlier someone said that the magic number for this was like 4 to 5 players?
3 to 4, but nonetheless, it's the as I was saying to Simon before, it's not so much that more players makes it easier, because also more players means you can't use your abilities as regularly. So it's definitely a different style of game with more players than it is with fewer.
Yeah. But that's never a bad thing, though, because let's face it, with a game like this, you know, the dynamics change, you know, when you have increased or reduced player counts.
Very much so.
You know, and the fact that you've also got a solo mode for this is great, because a lot of people like solo mode games.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we've all just come out of lockdown, if anything, I think has proven to a lot of game designers how important it is to have a solo mode. We can't take for granted being able to have people over.
Right. Okay, so we missed something.
Okay.
Yeah, finish your thing first, but it looks like we're going to have an ecological collapse, so we can demonstrate it.
Okay.
No! We didn't think of everything.
-1 from there.
Well, look, just a little reminder for out there, anyone who's joined hasn't, you know, caught it from the beginning. We are here playing through Earth Rising, which is the new Kickstarter prototype that we have at the moment. It's going to be coming live soon on the 24th. Make sure I keep saying the 24th. I want to make sure that's right.
That is right.
Yeah, that's fine. So is that on 15 now?
On 15.
Right. So we've got 15 counts.
I took an extra one from here.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got ecological collapse. So
yeah. So just to remind you, it's not 15 in one sector. It's 15 across 2 different types of burdens. It's still correct. You still do have an ecological collapse, but it's across the 2 chemical pollution ones.
Oh, across both chemical pollutions.
That's it.
Yeah, we still.
So it's both areas.
No, so that one and that one.
Yep, that's it.
No,
Right.
go for this, so we actually need to check all of these.
Oh.
So that one to that one, so that's still fine.
Uh-oh.
That's fine.
Uh-oh.
Something that's something. Do you want me to run you through how an ecological collapse works, or do you feel?
Yes,
confident
please,
enough
because it's
to have
not
a
happened yet.
Okay, so the first thing you do is you take 5 strain off both of the burdens that have caused it.
Yeah.
So here and there.
That's it.
Off each one.
That's it.
Yep.
Then obviously you equalize between them. And then you draw a single card for this first one.
Single card.
That's it. So
Yep.
where is it based?
Energy sector.
Okay, so you now go and take an ecological collapse token of your choice, and you place it in the leftmost empty circle, and take the meeple and put them in the middle.
So we have 7 now.
Yep. So that can now never be fixed. That's a permanent blight upon the board. Nothing can be placed there. Nothing can ever change it. That's just how it is.
So now we definitely need these clear so we can get these spaces.
That's exactly it. On top of that, you now want to take a temperatures rising token, which is the little orange, different Celsius ones, and you put the first one, number 1, down on the board in the center.
Do you want to know the real kicker?
Sorry?
Do you want to know the real kicker?
What's that?
I just drew that card.
Oh, right. Okay. So we get so
So that goes in the centre.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So +1.
So that +1 is now going to be 1 additional strain on all poverty strain. So because of that rising temperature, you're now currently looking at 8 strain going around the board every turn.
So that would be really careful.
Yeah. Yeah. 8 strain, crikey. So basically, it classes as 3 meeples.
They're pretty painful. So next time, let's say hypothetically you have another ecological collapse. You then draw 2 cards and you place 2 down.
Hence for the 2 degrees, it's 2 degrees, 2 cards, 1 degree, 1 card, 3 degrees. I'm guessing 3 cards.
That's it.
Right. Uh-oh.
But at least it's more the ecological classifies these 2, not these 2.
Yeah, that's where we misunderstood. So yeah, we thought we had to equalise those 2 rather than the matching areas. That makes more sense now.
Yeah.
You do. You do still have to equalize the ones that are together because they apply to the sector they're in. But it's
so you have to equalize those as well as across those.
So they still get equalized, but the ecological collapse is based on them.
So you don't need to equalize them across the same things.
No, you equalize these 2 because they're
Yeah.
at the same place, but the ecological collapse is the paired zones.
Yes.
That's right. So if, say, for example, the energy sector was completely full and had hit 10 in the bigger one, any additional ones would then carry over into the other side. Yeah,
into that one. Right. So that's the next carryovers into their own actual.
Yeah.
So on that though, these 2 are still a risk.
Yeah.
That is definitely not a risk.
No, that's not a risk.
That's not a risk because that's always going to stay below 5.
That's fine.
This one and this one potential.
Yeah,
But that one still balances out to gain of loss.
Yeah. So land conversion is pretty safe. Biodiversity is safe.
Yeah.
Nitrogen and waterfall are relatively safe.
Yeah.
Chemical and climate are not.
Yeah.
Being Italian, I suppose.
No, not necessarily. Right. So where were we? So it's now to me. So we've done all the strain. Okay. Right. Brain engaged. So trying to remember what we've got out. I draw my 2 first before I do anything. Right.
I'm going to be right back, folks. I'm just, I'll be back in a sec.
No, that's fine. So we've got winner takes all, vote match sets,
And we've got governising and low weight skills.
population and growth and feed.
Yeah, population growth over there.
Right, so I can keep hold of that one. I'm going to keep hold of the 2 of mine because I can use those just to get 1 out.
You can use that to get 2 out.
Yeah, so I can get those 2 out. Yeah. Hold on to that for. Yeah, I can always give that to you.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got one card in that one.
Yeah.
I have plenty of space.
And then I'll keep that one. So I'll discard those two. Yeah. So there you go, discard pile. So first action, let's get some of these, shall we? So nationalism. What's the stack?
I've got over it.
Yeah. So nationalism.
Is that the? Interesting. Yep.
Yeah. Nationalism. Yeah. So let's pop that out.
International cooperation.
Yeah. And let's also put vote match seats.
Vote what, sorry?
Vote match seats. One with the purple. Yeah. There you go. There as well.
Okay. So that now cancels itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes that area a bit safer.
Yeah.
So that's two actions.
A bit of a cleanup.
And because of my zone, I only take one card.
Yeah.
I need to do it.
A bit of a cleanup to protect these
Yeah.
higher risk
Now,
sectors.
I've got, which was the purple one we've got over here, overpopularization.
Yeah.
Population growth.
So I could remove that one, but I've still got to spend an extra card. So I'm going to get rid of
It
it.
has to be another culture card.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. So
The best thing for that is normally to give them to me.
yeah, I'm gonna give that to you as my third action.
And then a cleanup. Because this,
Yeah, or just
well, this will collapse
yeah.
in a minute.
Okay, so let's do cleanup.
Do you want to give that to me then, or do you want to do a cleanup?
Well, I've only got one action left. So
That's why I'm saying, do you want to give that to me, or do you want me to give that?
Can we do
Right,
cleanup?
so this one's going, we've got to add 8, so this is already getting 2 from property.
Yeah,
So I'd have to take them off
yeah,
at the very least.
yeah. Let me take two off there.
1, 2. And then you won't gain anything else. It's only property that's a matter there.
Yeah.
Which stops that going into collapse.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a counting that. Next big zone was land
Yeah.
conversion,
Yeah.
which isn't that massive, isn't drastically at risk.
But this area is.
Yeah.
That's a whole. Yeah, but you don't get any ecological collapse for that. It just starts overfilling into this.
Once it hits.
No, once this area hits 15, it triggers the ecological collapse.
No, that's what he was saying. So the risk, once this gets 10, and then anything past that goes into land conversion over here. It's land conversion that triggers the collapse.
Right.
Those two have to get 15, but you can only hold 15 up there.
Right.
And then you start filling up to the other zone, which forces ecological collapse sooner. It just happens.
Misunderstood it then.
Yeah, it just so happens that this one had 15 here and there was 5 in there.
Right. Okay.
So it forced collapse in both directions.
Yes. Of course. Makes
So-
total sense.
So this is one thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is where you balance, but that's your collapse.
Yeah.
So we need to take it off from here.
Yeah. And where else?
We said land conversion to mine at the next biggest risk.
Yeah. Let's go there. Off there. Alright, so that's my 4 actions. So now we're doing
yeah, so there's 8 there.
8. So starting cool. Right, stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just start doing yeah. Cool. There we got Laurie back as well. There.
So this is a 0.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's a 0.
Yeah.
That adds 1.
That's 1. Yeah.
That reduces 1.
Yeah. This.
That adds 1.
That's 1. Yeah.
That reduces 1.
Yeah. So, as part of my actions, I brought out 2 sustainable areas because I had the cards in my hand. So
Nice.
it was
Good
a
job.
no-brainer. Yeah.
So the next real stage for us,
Yeah.
aside from Janine getting another sustainable or switching that to sustainable, which
I'm planning to do that, and then I'm planning to literally.
But you're going to want that
that.
on it first,
Oh, okay.
or one of them, so you'd have to swap one of these over there, otherwise you just get rid of it, you'd rather flip it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Beyond that, no,
Just take it to the middle.
yeah, it's in this span, yeah, you don't keep adding to the middle, you can avoid it.
No.
So you want to draw your cards. Let's hope we don't get a status quo.
No, that's me who gets them.
Mike, you've been very unfortunate. You've got both so far.
There's also the use of community dashboards.
No.
Now this is where at this point of the game, you probably consider about reshuffling these and putting them back in to hope you don't get the status quo card.
Yeah.
But of course, with the fact of shuffling, you've still got a chance of hitting one. So there's that kind of judgment call, isn't it?
So the other thing that you, because do you remember you took out the other 3 status quo strikes cards that don't get in with them? So they're supposed to be put in the discard pile. So when you do your first reshuffle, you now have 6.
Oh, right. So they actually go. So the other 3 status quo cards that you don't start with, they start in the discard pile. So when you shuffle it back in, they go back in. Sneaky.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang fire on doing that yet.
Where are they? Yeah.
They're in the box.
Also, the other 3 ahead.
Oh, there. So I thought they were in the box.
Okay. So, as one of my actions, when I need to move it,
Yeah, you're not allowed to do anything else.
It should be in there.
You need to move one of them onto there.
Which one's going to be best?
Move that one to there, because you already have the card,
Okay.
and move one of these. Leave that there.
Yeah.
Leave that one onto your. Yeah. So that's your second action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can do that as an action, or you're worried
Do
about
that though.
climbing.
I'm worried about climbing.
You can then do that in your next second.
Yeah, I think we're leaving that for a little bit. I've got 2
Yeah.
more actions, correct?
Yeah.
I'm taking 8 tokens total off this board.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we need to.
Yes, we do.
I want to try and, on my go, anyway, I want to try and get this down so I can at least flip some of these.
Yes.
I was hoping to get this down, but obviously, no offense, we've got this here and this here.
Yeah, this one
So-
is one away, so that has to be done.
Yeah.
Exactly. So as much as I want to flip my guys over, I do at the same time as balance.
And this is the thing, it is about balance in this
And
game.
it is what we can do with taking the few off again because of the,
And realistically, mine should, provided no more status quo comes out at the moment, should eventually balance itself out with a negative.
Yeah.
So I'm not too fussed. So
question. On ecological collapse, if we have a second one in the energy zone, what do we have to discard sustainable?
Yep, whatever one is furthest to the left if there's no.
So the other sustainable would be next then.
Yeah, just by luck and happenstance in this case, but it could just as much be sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it's the furthest to the left.
Yeah.
okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 9. Which is like that. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ooh, okay.
Nice. Well, you want to relate for a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's where I take the 8 from and how
I think definitely there for a start.
Yeah.
We want to take at least, because we're getting, this is a 0, so nothing there's added, but we're getting 2, we're getting at least 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at least you're going to get 2 from poverty.
Yeah,
on that.
we need to clear some of these out.
So 1, 2.
Furthest to the left is a confusing statement, to be honest.
Sorry?
Furthest to the left is going to be a confusing statement.
Well,
Because
yeah.
your left is different to my left.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, that's the point.
Clockwise or anti-clockwise when you're doing ecological collapse. Because furthest to the left, I'm sat opposite him, so that's my left, but that's to his right.
Yeah, that's clockwise and anti-clockwise is probably a good way to put it.
No, anti-clockwise, furthest anti-clockwise, I'd assume then.
Yes, I guess so.
Okay.
That's right. To be honest, it doesn't make too much of a difference. It's just important to set a precedent as to which way it goes round. So we probably end up making it to clockwise.
I would probably say it's the furthest left to the person it's happened to.
It's supposed to be furthest left from the perspective of looking into the center from that sector. So
Right.
Oh, right, looking from us.
yeah.
So yeah, it'd be that one.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. No, that's better. That's clearer.
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure that wording is clear. So we'll review the rule book to make sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that now?
What's that?
Is that
Glad to have helped.
Oh, does that add to screen as well?
No, it doesn't. That's what the
No,
writing
that just
temperature
means
token
it
does.
adds, yeah.
Yeah, it just blocks. Yeah.
So that one vanished, that's a 0.
Yeah. So that's -2 +2.
Have you done that already?
No, I'm just literally I'm taking out my 8.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to do the maths.
Yeah. I'm not good at in the best of days.
Yeah. So we took 2 from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To begin with. I'll take to take 2 more. We'll see about that. Maybe 12 more. We'll see. I'll put that there for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to game 1, so we're going to, won't raise the numbers any higher.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I take that to 13. Okay.
Yeah. Here for definite.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And how many will that go up by?
So it will take. So that's 3. We'll be getting adding 1. But you also get 1 from poverty, so we'll be getting 2. So we need to take 2 off at least.
Yeah, okay. So in that case, if I take 3 off there, 3 off here.
Yeah.
And then you've got 2 more to
And then
clear.
I've got 2 more to clear, which can come from anywhere really.
Well, that's in which case then why don't we focus on the trouble zones,
Yeah.
So,
or focus on the areas where we want to flip, because obviously that will then give us positives
Yeah.
on board. So maybe here, take 2 off here.
Yeah.
We haven't flipped one yet,
no,
and we're in 2030.
I'm going to be flipping one of mine on my next card.
Yeah.
The next few turns, because that should wear down with the next few turns.
That'll go down by 1, that'll go down by 1.
Yeah.
So 1 from being there will get me both of them flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the mistakes that I was making with my Mrs. Laurie was when we were removing the unsustainables, we didn't realise we had to remove them. We thought we had to flip them to being sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's yeah, it's one of the things that was made a little bit unclear by the original character cards. We've cleared it up quite a bit by this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have to go up there. So you have to come back.
I think what one of the grace, that the enjoyable elements of this game is the user interaction, working together to figure out the strain and removing strain and where to go. This is, one of those games that is a very social game.
Yeah,
And that's another thing I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Sorry.
I was just going to say one of the things I've kind of been happiest about is seeing how integral actual cooperation is to being able to win at all.
Yeah.
It's absolutely vital to be able to get anywhere, and I think that's absolutely the right message for the theme.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. It is the saving grace of this game because in solo mode you've almost got that satisfaction of completing that goal, by yourself. But in a social interaction environment, so let's face it, we're social creatures, which is why lockdown was so hard on so many people.
For sure.
Sorry.
Oh, I said for sure. Yeah. It
Oh
was
yeah,
really
yeah. This is one of the great things with it. So I think it's actually probably come at a really good time as areas in the world are, improving. Some areas that people can be together and do social things. So
Definitely.
this is a great one for families, without a doubt, and get that debate going on in households.
Clear this.
I hope so.
Yeah. I will say though, Martin's made a very valid point. Am I the only person who fancies pizza right now? You're not. I'm absolutely ravenous. I've not had my tea. I came straight here to do the live stream with these guys. I think we all deserve food after this.
I think if the game inspires hunger, I won't deny that's a win on its own.
I mean, we've had, varying between 12 to a couple of people watching during the stream today. If you are watching this back and you haven't had a chance to check this out, do go check out the Kickstarter. It's on the SDR Games Studio site. The link is still on the screen. It's been on screen the entire time. And if you're enjoying the video as well, guys, do check out our website. Yay, we flipped a section. Sorry.
Hey, congratulations.
Yes.
So hang on. Hold on. You can't have that in a bit out because it needs to be supported on both sides by the other two large sections.
Yes, you've got to have one there and one there.
So this just sits here?
Yeah, it sits there. Because you can reverse it. If status quo could come out and reverse it, it would get flipped back.
Right.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Another thing is, don't forget to check how many meeple your practices can support, because you now have more space.
Yeah, so we get 2 there.
So we get 1 here.
It's because we're reducing poverty.
1 here. So these ones are classed as empty because they've been disbanded, correct?
So they don't have a practice supporting them.
Yeah.
Yes.
One practice supports 2 people.
But these have a practice because they're underneath.
Yeah, so as you can see, you've got 3 practices, so 6 people are able to be supported in that sector.
Okay.
Because it's 2 per practice.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, which it took me a little while to get my head round on those initial rules, where it said 2 meeples per section. But I'm like, it says you can only have 1, but then it made sense afterwards.
Okay, so I've got to add 7.
Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, guys, if you're enjoying it and you want to support the channel, because it is a volunteer-supported channel, and all the equipment and all the streaming is all done using our own kit. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can. The link's on the bottom of the screen as well. Donations help support the channel.
+1.
Yeah.
-1.
Yeah. So we hope to flip that one soon as well.
Yeah. 0, 0, 1.
That one little unsustainable keeps adding 1, that pesky industry.
I just used 3 clean notes. I don't need more housing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't see it from this far out, but have you been doing the calendar cards and such?
Yes,
I'll be keeping an eye on that.
We're on 2032 now, going into my go.
All right.
That's exactly.
Yeah. So I'm drawing 2.
We're going to have to show.
We're going to have to show soon, yeah. Right, so I've got greenwashing, so that's the one I'm definitely going to keep. And well, let's face it, I'm not at my max, so I'm going to keep that one as well.
Centralized distribution.
Yeah, so centralized distribution.
No, we've got overproduction.
Yeah, overproduction, greenwashing, deforestation.
We've got urbanizing over.
Greenwashing.
No. Oh, greenwashing, is that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, greenwashing. Yeah.
Right, so I can flip that. I can remove that. I'll disband that. So yeah, first action. Let's disband that puppy.
Okay. No, disband.
Yeah, disband it goes.
So that goes down.
No. You can have the person in there still. They're still supported.
Yeah, the person's
They still being supported.
or would be or you'd be completely mooting the point of disbanding it.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
There's 3 here, so it's 1 to 60.
Yeah.
So that's action 1.
That's action 1.
That's now a health zone, so we're actually going to start taking away from that again.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, these are both energy sectors, and we can't put anything in energy yet. So, into deforestation, we could. Well, I've not got 2 of the same colour.
No.
So, I'm thinking of using the remaining 3 actions to try and remove some of this.
Like I did.
Yeah.
I didn't want to risk drawing last status quo, so I just cleaned instead.
So, let's.
You take up to 12.
Yeah, basically 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Take 4 off there and 2 off all the others. Yeah. Yeah. Woo.
Add another 2 to this.
Yeah. So yes, keep the rows. Yeah.
How did you flip it? Sorry.
We cleared all the tokens off.
Yeah, if you're going to do it as a free action without using a card, it has to be within.
Yeah. So I've just got to discard any card or one of the same colour.
Has to be a culture card in this case.
Okay, so we can't clear them on your go.
Yeah, can't clear them on my go.
But
it's
clear them
yeah. That's fine.
pretty much straight away.
Yeah. Okay. That's the remaining of my actions. So now it's literally adding it back on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Starting over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes in the end outside. Oh, no, it goes
No, there is no outside in that.
6. 7. And then, we've
That
got.
cancel. No, that's remove 1.
That's remove 1. Yeah.
That's 0.
That's 0. That's add 1.
Yeah.
Pesky add 1 every time.
That's remove 1.
Yeah.
That's an add 1.
Yeah.
And that's a remove 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Denise, go.
Denise, go. So drawing 2 cards. Please don't draw a quote.
I reckon that's the start to go
It will be. It should be. Yeah.
The only reason I'm saying that is it always been the one that's the wrong way around to the rest of them. Yeah, I think when you put them in, they've been put in upside down because both times I've drawn it.
Oh, did I do it wrong way around? Silly boy. Silly boy.
But I'm going to say that's going to be the status quo card. And we'll soon see if
We'll soon see.
So before I do these two,
So you get to decide if you want to keep them or not.
Yes.
yes, I can tell you what to do.
But you have to discard
You
them.
have to discard. You can't give it. This is part of that draw phase to discard down to 5.
You also want to think your waste jobs.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to give to.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations again.
discarding that one.
It could be worth keeping that one on the basis that you would
could
be
give
able
it
to
to
use
me.
that alongside the other one that you have in your hand.
Your waste jobs and do it yourself.
And with your
Yeah,
protest
yeah.
token, you can flip it this turn.
They're outside of speciality, but you can bring them out. Yes.
Okay. Greenhouse gas emissions.
Yes, we do have that. And we have the flip one.
Yes.
That's what you were doing last time.
Yes. And then I'm also going to do that one. So
Yes, one of these you have to
So
still
still keep. Okay. So community dashboard or
No.
Thank God for a 4K iPhone,
Oh, actually, I could do with that one.
yeah.
Just gonna quickly check the battery on that, by the way.
Okay. The only reason I was saying about keeping them is because you're about to actually use it anyway. So you like more, so people can get them to go shopping.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is obviously now.
We're doing good. We're fine.
Yeah, I just thought that check my concerns running your white one.
So it's your go at the moment. You're right from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're right back, guys.
No discard to standard, but that the meter stays there.
Those two are done with.
So that's one action.
One action. 2 actions.
Yeah, so that one flips direct.
Is this an action?
What?
To flip this over.
No, that's free action, it's your turn.
2 actions so far. Culture, growth, again, these mines. Sustainable. Give that back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that gets discarded.
And then you either want to clean or you give that to me. It's not going to cause a major problem because that will just overflow into land conversion. If it fills up, which it shouldn't. That shouldn't fill up. None of these are nearly 15 now.
Okay, so I can either draw another card or I
If you
can.
pass that to me, then I can get it out of my next go.
Oh, you actually have to put
The other thing you could do is, since you know for a fact that a status quo card is coming up, you could reset the discard pile now and make sure it's
Yeah,
not
sure,
down.
as your last action. Just to try and pause. Just because I'm curious.
There we go. So you would have had to draw 3 cards.
Yeah. I was also correct that they were upside down.
Might want to fix that this time.
Yeah, so make sure all the status quo fixed in the same way.
Or at least make sure there are other cards upside down other than them.
What's he doing? Oh yeah, they're in the scout pile already.
What? They just felt big enough for your hand. They just felt big enough for small hands as well, which is brilliant.
Okay. So, my go.
Okay, so
It's 5, 6. 6 probably. Yeah. Okay. So -1. That's -1.
yeah.
Yeah.
So 3.
So -3, so just take that one off.
Yeah.
More water in a minute.
More water. Yeah, I'll ask you a couple of waters as well, mate. Alright, I'll be right back, sorry.
Yeah, sustainable, so
that's
-2.
Off of that.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
And then
So that's balance, that's a 0.
0.
That's a +1. Yeah, we're fine. I'll do a clean up on that in a minute.
And it's on to you next. I quite like this team there, actually.
Okay, very good. Greenhouse emissions are reappeared, but you will did that, so corporate consolidation. There you go. Okay.
Right, I'm back in the room, guys, sorry.
Right, so my first action is to get rid of that awkward +1 by building.
Oh no, we've had to shuffle, have we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I was also right. It was upside down for the start.
Ah, I have to bear that in mind in
We
future.
put them all the right way now. I'm going to have feed-in tariffs
Okay.
as a yellow.
Amazing, thank you.
You want sugar?
No, I don't.
No, you don't sugar.
That's fine, the water's for mine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so feed-in tariffs.
So before I forget, guys, I know this is a mindless plug, but they are our venue, and we have got to say thank you very much to the Geek Retreat here in Lincoln. Thank you, Mal and Alice, for hosting this special Let's Play board games with Diary of a Lincoln Geek and playing Earth Rising. Thanks, guys, and if you are in the Lincoln area, do go check them out. They've got tons of geeky stuff, which we love. There you go. I've done my mindless plug, but it's only fair.
Okay.
And you're muted, good buddy. Hang on, I'll unmute you.
So, yeah. So in this day and age, I think we've all realised how important it is to support and preserve our physical spaces where we can go and play our games. Like, I think a lot of them have come very close to the brink of not being able to stay open. So it's definitely important to give that shout out. Support your local shops, support your local places where you can play. It's really important.
And I will add on to that, because so while we are here at Geek Retreat in Lincoln, there are other geeky venues in Lincoln, because if people didn't know, Lincoln is the geek capital of the North.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it is. It was even on Look North a couple of years ago, and I think it's just got bigger. So Geek Retreat is new to Lincoln, but we do also have Comic Culture down the road. We've also got Games Workshop. We've also got Titan Games, and we've also got the Lincoln Imp Games. So we're not favoritism. So if any of the other shops would like us to host a Let's Play board games at their venue, then do let us know. We'll happily come down and play in your relevant venues as well. Okay? We have to be shown as being fair.
Yeah, I'll have to come and have an explore sometime.
Yeah, you're always welcome. If you're coming to Lincoln, do give us a shout. We'll more than happily show you around.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So I did get rid of the +1 in here.
Yeah.
And then I got the status quo and added a new one anyway, so it's still +1.
No. Pesky status quos.
Sorry, I'll keep drawing them for you.
We'll
get
get
you
you.
Your special ability, Chris, is going to come into its own now, since you can. You've got a whole 4 cards you can look ahead.
Yes, with the sustainable politics. Yes, 1 extra card because I've got 2 sustainables in my area. Yes.
Okay, so I've had to add another unsustainable to that, which is pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, that's still a -2, so we really don't have to worry about that conversion.
Yeah, we don't.
That one's still on +1. I've done 2 cleanups and obviously drew a card and placed a new tile.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
The only advantage to my having that sustainable one then.
Yes, it's very true, Martin. Yellow bellies are the best. That's what they call us, people in the north at Lincoln. We are known as yellow bellies. It's not a negative thing, it's a positive person if you're someone from Lincoln.
Do you know where it originates?
No, I don't. But I'm sure someone out there on internet land can educate us if you don't know.
Well, I'm going to go check it out.
Okay. And Simon Devine says, got to go, guys, but really good game, really impressive. Thank you for the demo and all the best of luck with your Kickstarter.
Oh, thanks very much, Simon.
Yeah. So one thing I will ask all our viewers at this moment in time, if you are enjoying the show and you have enjoyed us chatting and playing along with the designer Laurie, then do share and subscribe, guys. Check out the website because without you guys we wouldn't keep doing this. So we are like followers. So do share the love.
On my next go, mine needs to shift this because that's never getting a lot on it.
No,
it's taking 3 off every turn.
Yeah, no,
whereas this place, I know how sustainable I can add it to.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. Right, so it's my go. So I'm going to draw my 2, and then I'm the first action. I'm going to look at 4 cards. Oh well, that's just useful anyway.
2 policies.
2 policies from my area, which is great. And I've got 5, so I don't have to worry. So we'll look about that for a moment. I'm going to look at
you could do, Chris.
Sorry?
If you put some of those into play, you'd be able to look at more cards.
Very true. Good point. So let's do it. So winner takes all. Oh, sorry, vote match seats because it's.
Yeah.
And nationalism or international.
So both match seats is already out, so it's not.
Oh, that's not being scored.
And nationalism, international cooperation, we've already got out.
Damn it!
So they show up on the deck.
Of course.
Alas.
Yeah. So.
So just look at the top 4 then.
Yeah, just look at the top 4. Oh well.
I had the same. I got ones that were already out.
Right, so let's look at the top 4. I can reorganise them.
You're going to have to give me a status quo again, aren't you?
Right, so we've got 2 status quo cards. So that is not good. I would say that area is we're in a positive.
Yeah.
So let's get that one out of the way.
I mean, they're both coming out in the next 2 turns.
Sorry, go on.
I might suggest, for a fact that the next person is going to draw 2 cards. If that person on their turn were to reshuffle the discard pile into the deck, they could potentially get rid of those 2.
So you put them both at the bottom.
Yeah.
Janine draws 2 cards and shuffles the whole deck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good call. There you go, let's do that then.
Yeah, that works for me.
I just don't draw any cards.
Yeah, that works for me.
So my first action was to do that. So interesting, I think, Martin Dane's done a bit of research. It comes from yellow-bellied eels common to the fens. This then transferred to the locals of the area, and they were tagged yellow bellies or pasty from living amongst the wet marshlands.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Learn something new.
Yellow belly.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna. Right. Clean up.
Have you got any green cards?
Right. Yes.
There is one that I haven't got.
Deforestation.
Yeah,
so,
that's not on the code.
yeah. So I could get rid of that and that.
And I can take the green card quite happily.
Yeah. Let's
So
give you
if
the
it's
green.
not on the field, that means I can guarantee at least 1 extra.
Yeah. No. Good call. So that's one action. That's 2 actions. So the other 2, let's do some cleanup.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 2 off each. I would say.
Realistically, these zones definitely hit because then we can start building in as well.
Yeah. So okay then. So in which case then, take 2 off that one. 2 off that one.
Yeah.
This you said.
That one removes itself slowly. That removes 2 each turn.
Yeah.
So as long as we're weakening them, that one adds to it.
Yeah. So let's take 4 off that one. Yeah. Yeah. That's my last action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that. All right.
Well, I'll screw up that one. This just to counter the poverty.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. Yes. So I've got.
Just it doesn't change constantly. It just stops the poverty adding.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now we're adding 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I like it on that down to the side.
Right. So
1. And if you don't mind set the overfishing, then I can add even more to the green zone.
Yeah.
4.
Which means I can get even more of my tokens out on the other zones.
Yeah.
And then so here we've got 2, then no negatives, so we're taking 2 off. Yeah. Here we've got 1, 2. That cancels itself out, so nothing happens there.
Add 1,
That's add 1.
which I'm going to be dealing with.
Yeah. So we've got that
-1.
-1. This one is
-1.
-1. Thank you, green token. Ecological token.
Minus.
Right, so that's 2 negatives. We've got 4 positives, so it's -2. There we go. Fantastic. Here we go. Janine, it's your go.
Draw 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's your unique
Yeah.
house.
Agriculture I already have, so agriculture.
Should we there?
So do I give these to you?
No, should
Oh no, did I be honest? Did I do them the wrong way around?
What?
Did I put the cards back in the wrong order?
No, we wanted the status quo next, so Janine now shuffle the deck
Yes.
in the hopes that I don't draw them.
Yes. Yes. That's it.
So your first action was to shuffle these back into the deck.
Yeah.
So then do I give these agricultures
That was
to you?
Momentary brain fart from Chris.
Yeah, agricultural farming's already there, so no use.
Overfishing.
I'll meet that one.
Oh.
But we'll do
And the bad pun award goes to that. That's a really good bit of trivia, Martin.
What you're going to do? You're going for a big shuffle this time.
Big shuffle, here we go, come on.
I'm just trying to make sure that the cards are next to each other.
So you're doing a table shuffle?
Because we ended up just drawing the same cards we had the last
Yeah,
cycle that we've already played out.
yeah, yeah.
I think
So-
about the time I do this
this is-
sort of thing, I'm not playing.
They should have got a bit more mixed up.
I haven't seen anyone do a table shuffle since I played Magic the Gathering, and I haven't played Magic the Gathering properly. No, it's not that thing. For 6 years. And then prior to that was when I was playing Decipher's Lord of the Rings card game. Because everyone always sleeved their cards because everything was
Yeah.
shiny and really pretty.
Cards can have a shuffle, so that's 3 actions.
Yeah. Fourth action to do cleanup.
Yeah, just added this card
Yeah.
into it, then shuffle.
Yeah.
No, adding this card shuffling is one action.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got three. So you got three actions.
One of them is to give me
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So it's two actions. There we go. There we go.
Okay. Do I risk
Yeah, no actions mixed up.
No,
So don't draw the cards, I'll just take that chance in a minute.
I'm not. I've got 2 turns left, so I'm going to get
More clean.
yes, because obviously, how do we get these? We have to have.
No, so you can do that quarter.
Yeah.
Because that we can keep that clear. We take at least one from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, make
One
it.
from there, two from there.
Yeah. Two from here.
So that's 5,
Two from here.
6, 7.
Maybe one more.
This one, we always have one.
Okay, this one.
That's 8, and then we go on to the.
This is my favourite part of this game, is the debate of where you're removing things, what you're doing. I love co-op games. I'm a massive fan of co-op games. You know, a lot of my people on Diary of a Linking Geek love, you know, the games.
That was going there.
But I'm a big fan of co-op games. Always have games.
That's one of all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Now go.
Because you all win.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm not very good at winning. I just love to play. I'm an active player. I like to play. I like to be involved.
0.
Yeah.
Add 1.
Winning isn't all the end for me, but when it's a co-op game and you're working together, it's better in my opinion. But that's just me.
That group satisfaction is hard to beat for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Group satisfaction is key, particularly in a co-op game like this. I'm not saying this to be in any way, you know, biased on this game at all, because we've already done the review. But it does play better with more people, definitely, without a doubt.
No, I mean, it's one of those things of, because it's such a social game, more people will enhance it just by nature of the fact that you've got more people to discuss it with.
Exactly, and it also brings up that topic of the game as well. You know, about the theme of the game, about the politics of the game. You know, and that as a natural thing that people will do when they're playing is talk about this stuff.
For sure.
So I think you guys have hit the nail on the head, you know, with this.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. I kind of feel bad. I only gave it a 5 out of 6 now. I could only do it on that experience at the time of playing 2-player. I might have to do a slight revision of the review.
I wouldn't complain.
Action 2 is to add nature.
Yeah.
Is that not green?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's green.
5 rounds left.
5 rounds to go. I don't know. Could be tough.
Nature needs an arm, so that's on that.
Yeah. So where are we placing this?
Oh no, that one's been disbanded.
Oh, it's been disbanded, right? I was going to say.
Let's see. Anyone wants to do this?
So just so I'm correct, whereabouts are you guys based? Are you London based?
We're Sussex, so just south of
Sussex. Ironically, I'm not going to mention what I do for a living online, but I would be working in Surrey or Sussex, but I work remotely. So my job's there, but I work from home. I'm very fortunate.
Well, you have to let us know if you ever have to go do a commute.
Thing is, I do soon, so I could come and visit, and then we could have a drink.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
Yeah, I would. Be really nice. It'd be nice to meet you guys.
Definitely.
And I might meet someone else while I'm there, because Simon is a work colleague as well, so I might be able to catch up with Simon when I'm there as well.
Perfect.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then by -3, -2,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 2, you got 2, and then another 2.
Yeah, so -2.
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Minus
Brain,
1.
it's been a long day. Been up since 6 this morning. Sorry? It's not much. I don't mind it. I've got used to it now. So my daughter's 6 months old, and getting into a nice routine. And on average, she'll wake up between 6 and 6:30.
So the current situation is no generated strain.
Yeah.
We've got a balance.
Yeah, a little bit better.
Red flipped.
Yes, we do.
That's a free action on your part.
Yes.
Then we need to clean up.
Yeah.
So we need to drink your.
But we need one of the correct colour.
Yes, we do. So I'll draw my 2,
Yeah.
and then I'll look at the next
Yeah.
4.
Unless you get red.
Unless I get red in my hand. No. Oh no.
Okay,
So mass deregulation. So draw 1 influence card plus 1 for each sustainable agricultural practice. So it's 3. Add any unsustainable practices drawn to the board.
Okay, so mineral eco
What
e-waste
section?
Yellow mineral extraction.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is mineral extraction already on the board?
No, it's there. It's the one hidden at the side.
Okay, so that's yellow done.
Yeah.
The next one we can't add.
Yeah.
But have we got controlled rent? Sorry, these are all blue, by the way.
Yeah.
So excessive living costs.
Yes, it's already on the board.
So you need to add 2 screens for that.
Yeah. Damn it.
Financial gatekeeping.
Yes.
2 screens for that one.
Yeah. Damn it. The one thing I didn't want to draw.
Public owned utilities. Looking at the sustainable share.
No.
No, that's it.
Okay, so we need to draw a different card.
Cool.
Industry again. Disposable plastics, is that already on the board?
What section?
Industry, yellow. Or pioneer materials.
Disposable plastics, did you say?
Yeah.
No, it's not on the board. No.
Agriculture, community supported agriculture.
No.
Okay, food import reliance needs to be added then.
Sorry?
Food import reliance, the unsustainable side.
There we go.
So that wasn't ideal, but
No,
I think
it
we're
wasn't.
not adding much.
No, it's not.
The only problem is if you put this back to +1 again.
Yes. Okay. So.
I don't know if you've been doing this, but you are actually you should draw an additional card to replace the one that you've had to draw for a status quo, because obviously you haven't actually gained any influence. So you.
No, we haven't. That's fine. So I've got.
I've lost out on so many cards.
Yes. Doesn't matter. That's fine. Okay. So I've got. We're going to discard down. Got to discard down. So I'm just going to go with the one I just drawn. I think that's already in play, if I'm not correct.
Land obsolescence.
Is it? No. Oh, okay. Well, get rid of that one. Got single-use clothing in play already.
What colour?
Purple.
You've got.
Yeah, single-use clothing. Oh no.
We must do. So I've not got it.
What's the other name to it?
We've got ethically sourced goods.
Yeah, we've got that.
Right, so I don't need that one, so let's get rid of that one. There you go, that's me down to 5. Right, okay. 4 actions. So that's, first of all, shall I look at the next 4 cards?
Well, this is a free action.
Free action for that first. So let's get them to equals out.
We can't. We don't have another utility.
Yeah.
We only support, each one only supports 2, doesn't it? We need another red out.
Okay, so hang on a second then. So, with vote match seats or international cooperation?
We've got both match. We've got international cooperation.
Damn it,
We keep getting those 2.
keep getting those 2.
They're no good to us.
No good to me. So I'll remind myself to discard those. Damn it. Okay. Well, at least we flipped it.
Yeah.
So that's 3 actions. So I've still got 4 actions left. Let's look at the next 4 cards.
And then who knows, I might get red.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Right. So let's put that to the top. So I want to draw that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. The rest can stay like that. Unless you've got other colours that are beneficial. No, doesn't matter about that. So next action will be to draw a card.
Yeah.
So then we bring up Sustainable Development Goals.
What was that?
Oh, sorry. GDP focused governance.
That one. Sustainable development goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
You can go in the middle row.
So that's 3 actions. So the 4th action will be to
Take the ball back off again.
Congratulations, folks, for finally getting poverty down to 5.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my last action.
Yeah.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. 5.
So we need to get the other one.
Yeah.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5. And then, so here we've got
-1.
take 1 off.
It's empty.
Empty. Here we've got
-3.
minus. No? Oh yeah, -3. So
Yeah,
yeah.
-3.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw the dark up there compared to the white, and I just thought.
-1.
So used to seeing black in this as negative.
So, yeah, that's one of the many things we've done our best to change in like the actual art that's been used is to try and move away from that kind of dark backgrounds on sustainable practices and such like that.
Yeah, just to avoid that mistake. Yeah, no, makes sense. Yeah, fantastic, brilliant. So that's me done. So it's now next one. It's you. Have you flipped for
already. Industry truly is the hardest thing to change.
Yeah, industry. There's suckers out there, guys. Industry.
Okay, so I've got actually parts, coal industry, and the other business tile.
Well, we have those bit of suppliers, unless you want a second yellow to go with it.
No. I'm actually thinking of using all 4 actions to clean up.
Go for it.
Just so, because I'm conscious we're about to lose the game.
Potentially, yes.
So I'm thinking all 4 actions get as many tokens off the board as possible.
Maybe in industry.
Definitely want to clear out industry.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Yeah. So you use all 4,
So
8,
don't-
16.
That's, how many are on there? Because there's obviously not 15.
The other option for you is that you're able to clear up. If you took 2 of your actions to clear up energy, you would be able to use another one to put in the segment, reduce poverty further. However, you've already done what you've done, so.
Yeah, already done what we've done. But yeah, we could have done that.
How
to
many
reduce poverty.
you take off this one?
I took off 4,
I've just taken off 4,
so another 4 will leave 1.
7, 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can flip that one.
Yeah.
So,
You can flip that over.
Yeah.
right, so it will be that.
So that's action.
Yeah.
That was all 4 actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's another section flipped.
And another 2.
Yeah. But we haven't got the reinforcement either side. Look at this, ironically, for us to be able to flip over any middles yet.
However, there's still time. There's
Yes.
one more round. I think.
I can flip the blue one in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we move these out of the way.
Yeah, they need pushing into the, or taking out to the side, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put them out to the side now because I'm hoping to fill up the middle.
Okay, so I have to do my 6.
This is preemptive excitement here. Now, but
It's great to
pretty
see.
exciting.
3, 4.
So 1, 2,
Multiple things going on the board here, guys.
4, and then those 2.
Oh my god. Nails are failing me. And I didn't cut them.
I go. Well, good. I think draw status quo.
Good.
So, anti-environment. So there's a.
I'm very thankful that you didn't draw a status quo.
You don't need to take off.
Oh yeah, we need to do this bit before we go on, yeah. So that's a -2.
Yeah. Yeah.
That clears, that clears. That is -1.
Yeah.
That is +1.
Yes.
Mine is already clear, so
I think that's just a straight.
It's a nice little tipping point when you suddenly look forward to the strain phase because you know you're going to take off more than you're putting on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's immensely satisfying seeing those tokens disappear.
Yeah.
okay, so
No, you know, the strain.
balance that.
Yeah.
That's balanced.
Yeah, that's fancy. Yeah.
So I'll do a cleanup.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Which have we got either of these on the bill? Commuter expectations / remote worker.
Well, I think
All blue zones.
what's easy to say is, so what was it?
Commuter expectations.
Yeah, it's here.
Urban mental stress.
Urban mental stress it isn't. This must be
So
already
it's
out.
already on the bill, so I'll use that one
Yeah.
to flip that over.
Yeah. Sensible to look at the cards that you're discarding, so you don't flip up, discard something that's not on the field.
Definitely.
Reaction, let's flip that one over.
Yeah.
Which
Very good.
That's definitely not environmental. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And we've got 2 sprays over here.
Yeah. So the strays don't count. It's just groups of 3s.
Yeah.
So I'm going to very quickly ask. So obviously we've got the prototype copy. What's different between the prototype that's we've got here to the one that's going to be in the Kickstarter on the 24th?
So the board is going to majoritively look the same. All the line art and all the color coding and all that's all going to remain the same. But the board itself will be completely circular. So so the corners and such like that won't be on there. It'll be a completely circular board. The other thing is that you presently all of the artwork is prototype artwork, other than the board itself. Which means that all of the kind of on the card art will be changing. We've updated that significantly. That said, we've already finished it. So if anyone wants to check out what it will look like, feel free to come by either of our 2 online variants where you can play the game for free online, Tabletop Simulator or Screen Top, and you can see all the brand new card artwork that's all been finished, and we've uploaded it early. Other than that, we're really hoping that our first really early stretch goal will be a raised board. So the outer edge will all be raised to the same level as each of the segments, which means they'll slot really nicely into the center in with the raised section.
That's nice to know, because I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's our first stretch goal because we really want it. We think it will look just so much nicer and so much flasher.
Yeah, when they all interconnect, it's nice. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Every strain now, I just go to wherever the land is.
Yep, that's right. So it just sits in the ecological ceiling. But if it's still there, at the end of the strain phase, then it causes a recession, and you have to.
Yeah, so that's the property done. So I've done the property. Obviously, there's nothing there. First one, second and third one.
Yeah.
Ecological strain, that's fine. That's fine. That's removed.
Yeah.
That's fine. Oh, one of them should have gone there. Didn't see that there.
It's easy to miss. When they don't quite interconnect with the board, you can soon miss them.
And that's still possible. Right, that is my last go actually.
You're kidding me.
It's all on you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's not possible.
Congratulations.
It's not possible.
I mean, that was
the world is in your hands, Chris.
Right, let's draw the 2 cards first. Okay, maybe possible.
No, we need, but you'd build that one and that one. We need to get this piece down.
Yeah, well, I was going to discard those 2 anyway, because I said that. So, Free action.
But you're not supported, that's the problem.
Oh, it's not
We need to
supported.
clean this
Okay. So, what do we need in order to do that?
2 actions.
I've got 2. Overproduction or
Overproduction's on the board already.
centralized distribution.
Well, overproduction's already here, so we can discard that, but we need to clean up first.
Okay. So.
And it needs to be 2 actions to clean up, because there's 6 on it.
Okay. So let's do that then. So that's 2 actions to clean up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Yeah. And then I'll discard that and that because I've got to discard 2.
Discard 1 if you're looking at the set.
Is it 1 or 2 to discard the flip?
So it's 1 per segment.
Yeah, 1 per segment. So that's fine. I'll discard 1 then. Okay.
That's a free action.
That's now a free action to come in. Let's just put them in the very middle, the core of the planet.
You get to go, so they're all burning.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got 2 actions remaining.
Ah,
Is that a purple you've got?
I've got a purple
We've
here.
got handles, so you can flip.
Yeah, so discard that. That's 3.
The problem is,
You can't.
you need
I need yellow.
2 more actions.
So I've got yellow. Plans, obsolete.
Have you got an orange?
Yes.
It's the only one you can do because that needs to clean up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, how many tokens did we clean up? So they
I cleaned up 8, I took 2 off that.
right, okay. Damn it. So if I get rid of that one, that gets that one.
We are 1 to short,
You're kidding me.
and the end of the screw is over.
Oh,
So close.
Well done, guys. So close.
It was good.
Down to the wire.
Yeah. It really was.
1 more year.
1 more
and
year,
we
we
would
would
have
have
done
done
the
it.
planet.
Yeah.
Arbitrary rules say you've got 20 years to save the world.
Yes, yes, yes.
What I'd also suggest next time is keep an eye on the year cards, because obviously we only realised when we had 5 years left that we didn't have much left over.
But we did a lot in 5 years.
We did a lot in 5 years, yeah.
I'm thinking next time, as part of the strategy, is that somebody needs to keep an eye on realistically how many years we actually have left.
Yeah.
And possibly start this sooner. I know that obviously you've got the.
It's hard to do
speed
because in the
codes,
early years
yeah.
you've got to do a lot of cleanup just to
Well, what I was thinking was
Exactly.
halfway through, sort of 10 to 12 years through, I was thinking, possibly start thinking about how we can get this out.
the real thing you've got to do is make realistically. Remember these, because you can flip and try and pass colours on to the correct people so you're not wasting actions.
Yeah.
And if we can get you to flip them instead of discarding them.
That's even better.
Yeah.
These are very useful.
Yeah, yes, the player abilities are extremely useful, and I will say that I don't think I really utilised them that much when we were playing with my wife, and we were making that slight mistake. But
so I've got as many hours as I'm allowed.
Yeah.
Because I only have 3 sustainable agriculture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have 4 hours to build them.
Yeah. No, it's a very good game. It plays very well, and it really does emphasise on the cooperative working together as a team, because you do.
Been learning that. It's only taken.
About 2 hours, and that's close to what I said.
Exactly. So yeah, that's a learning game as well, teaching people to play. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. David Drum, yes, it was so close, but not quite close enough to save the planet.
I think the most important thing when you look at it is to realise that, you know what, 1 more year you would have done it. The world hasn't ended in this game. You know, you would actually have another year in real life if this was the situation. You would have made it. It's not a problem. The most important thing is realising that you managed that much in that little time. You know, it was you had a very set amount of time, and yet you managed to transform it, especially near the end there. You did phenomenally well. Like, you know, you had half of the segments missing, and yet in the last 2-3 turns you were able to transform most of the board.
Yeah, 5 years to transform more than half the world.
That's it, exactly. It was really impressive, and it's important to recognise that, okay, you hypothetically lost, but the amount that you accomplished is phenomenal.
Yeah. No.
And only one economical collapse.
Yes, very fortunate. One economical collapse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it plays well. Thank you ever so much to yourself, Laurie, for joining us and staying through the entire show.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
No, it was great chatting with you, and I think the guys here have enjoyed themselves. Have you enjoyed yourselves? You like the game? Yeah. Favorite elements of the game, Janine?
For me, it's obviously the fact that she can do this, but at the same time, it's also talking to each other, because for me, a game is, I'm not a huge fighting person, so for me, this is amazing fact that I
Very
actually
much
get to use my brain and get to talk to people and actually get to talk about my actions and think the next step along.
You can support each other.
Bounce ideas and find out what's, like he said, obviously, me picking up is going to help him.
Yeah, it's not one person trying to remember all the rules.
Yeah.
You can actually just talk and
Use
say,
each other as soundboards
this is
as
a
well.
this
Yes.
is, like even with the confusion with these, where the economic class comes from.
Yeah.
At least if there's more than one person who's able to talk about it, then only one needs to understand it to be able to keep the game on track.
Yes, exactly, and that's one of the great things with co-op games where you haven't got hidden stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's open hand, works really well.
Cards up right instead of going.
And you could almost, as worst case scenario, if you were, still locked down somewhere in the world and you want a game that's solo player, but you could also play over the internet quite easily. Yeah. You can play this over the internet quite easily if you don't have Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia. Yeah.
I could have easily joined in if we'd had, like, I could have gotten my deck of cards out and had whatever you'd drawn for me in my hand. I could have easily have joined in over the camera.
Exactly, yeah. So that's something to bear in mind, folks. That's anyone watching this back or is watching now. You can easily include people over Zoom or whatever platform you choose to use. Mark, what was your favourite bits of the game?
I did thoroughly enjoy the cooperative nature of the game, but you still have to plan and strategize everything.
Yeah.
You can't just go, sorry, I'm doing this.
No, exactly. You can't.
You need to think about it and actually make a strategy.
Yes, you can't just go one person gun ho and think you can save the world by yourself. You've got to do it together.
Yeah.
And I re-emphasise that. I think that's one of the things I love about it most as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Solid. Well, look, we've been online for just short of nearly 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's been a great show. It's been a great chatting to you. I'm going to say thank you very much for your time today. Like I said, we organised it very short notice. I'm also going to say thank you to Janine and Mark for joining us. Mike, sorry. For playing. The guys saw it online and they wanted to play here at Geek Retreat in Lincoln. So, and we also want to say thank you for Geek Retreat in Lincoln for hosting us and letting us come and play board games today. So we're going to call it an end. Please, of course, do remember that you can back this. It's going live on Kickstarter on the 24th. The screen information is still on screen, so you can go live there on the day and back it. And of course, if you also enjoyed the show, you can back us and you can, contribute and help us run and do more on the show by going on that little link in there and donating to our channel. I will re-emphasize, we are all volunteers, guys. All the games we get sent go to our volunteers to do the review. We don't charge for doing our reviews. So if you have a board game out there and you're designing and you'd like us to do a review, or let's do a play along like we've done today, then we can do that with yourselves again. So do reach out and let us know. In the meantime, I'm going to say thanks again. It's Chris from Diary of a Lincoln Geek saying thanks again. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and keep gaming.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm really glad you all had a fantastic time.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Laurie.
Bye.
Bye.